Hello, hello. Can you hear me? I really hope so, because last night at like midnight, I realized that I didn't put any of the sound stuff in, so I'm really hoping I last minute did it right. Hello, hello, and for folks who don't know me, hi, I'm Tofi. I'm a non-binary Chinese variety streamer who really loves Shrek. And we're on the It Gets Better Project channel, a lovely nonprofit that works to educate, uplift, support, and connect LGBTQI plus youth across the globe. And I'm really excited to be here. Okay, you can hear me. Thank freaking goodness, because I had a mini panic attack last night. Like after Shadi and I got off, got off like a co-working vibe call, I was like, "Oh, I forgot to add in all the desktop audio, all the voice mod audio." I was like, because the thing is, I set up all my like all the or like all the assets up like 3 weeks ago because I was concerned because I was like, I need to get this done like a month ahead of time and then forgot like half of the stuff and forgot like half of the stuff. How are you, Valley? How are you, Shiny and Dom and Umi and Soul and Artie and so many lovely people and Ryan? How are y'all doing today? I hope that y'all are having a lovely heckin' Pride Month. I hope that you're having a lovely heckin' Pride Month because I know I am in peak gay. I'm in peak queer at the moment. How are y'all doing? Thank you. It's okay. I didn't add Zoom filters like Zoom cams because I didn't know if that was allowed. But like, it's a cute little non-binary rat shirt. It's my favorite thing in the entire universe. A trans man named Theo Masters on the Twitter makes them, and he made some really cool like spring themed ones too. Or no, excuse me. This one was from a rat. Excuse me. This one was from a different person. They both make really cool shirts that I keep buying a whole bunch of because I love them so much. Sealy Art. Sealy Art made these ones, but another person named Theo Masters also makes some really cool like shirts like this, and I love them. How are y'all doing? Happy Pride. Doing well. Sadly, my internet sucks, so I can't stay here for long. No worries, Valley. I cannot even tell you how much I appreciate you even being here at all. Like, thank you. I appreciate it because I have been very like stress-sighted is what I've been calling it. Stressed plus excited because I'm so excited to be here as my first ambassador stream, but also stressed because like I don't know, I always have anxiety. I just have anxiety. Also, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I don't know why the alert didn't pop up, but it's fine. Welcome in. And thank you, right? It's my favorite thing. And it gives me many joy. Thank you. Like the person who made it, Sealy Art, they also have a bunch of other like identities also. I'm pretty sure I saw an asexual one, they had a transgender one, they had like a lesbian themed one. Like they just did a whole bunch of pride themed rat shirts and they're seriously like the cutest things ever. And I need more because they're so comfortable too. And it gives me like, I don't know, like the type and the style and the material of the shirt just gives me like peak euphoria, you know? And I just really heckin' love it. I just really love it. Yeah, peak gay, peak queer. Like we even got our coffee. Like we're living the queer dream right now. Just also, look how cute this is. Hold up. It says good time. We're having a good time right now. It's a cute little cat. I was trying to raid in, but it wouldn't work. Oh, I wonder if we have some like protections set up on who can raid, I bet. But thank you, that's really sweet. Like the thought of you wanting to raid in, that's really kind, and I really appreciate you. So thank you. Yeah, I think there's probably some protection set up, especially because it is like specifically. Can't hear you. You can't hear me? Hold up, what? I'm not muted. Okay, thank goodness. Because I didn't touch anything, and I almost freaked out for a split second. I was like, what did I do on my end? It's a shiny thing, okay? Oh, I'm so sweaty. I... Shiny, don't do this to me. Shiny, are you good over there? Are you good? Are you good, friend? Hi, Chlor, how are you doing? Right. I hope that you're doing well. Like, isn't this the sweetest second thing? And it's like ceramic-y too, and it keeps food. Wow, not food. I mean, I guess I could use this for food technically. It keeps coffee and like drinks really heckin' hot, like forever, and it makes me so happy because I am the worst kind of person to where like if I make anything warm beverage, like tea, coffee, hot chocolate, anything, I simply forget that it exists. Especially when I'm streaming, because like I am really bad at like taking care of myself during stream, right? Like I'm very bad at remembering to hydrate, to take breaks, anything like that. And I just leave it there and I completely just forget about it. And so I was like considering getting one of those like cute little like mug warmer things that like keep them warm, right? Haven't gotten one, but like this cup makes it so nice. It makes it so nice because it stays warm forever, which is what I need, which is quite frankly what I need because I am a forgetful person. Okay, thank goodness. I have no idea what happened on my end, and I'm so sorry. I appreciate you because I was so stressed. I was so incredibly stressed, and I thought I messed something up on this end. So thank you, especially because, again, I forgot to add in all my audio and export and input thingies until last night at like midnight. It's fine. We're doing Peachy Keen. Hi, how are you, Oxford? How are you doing? I hope everything's going well. And hi, Moon Elf, how are you doing too? Right? There's so many lovely people, and I really just can't thank y'all enough. Like, I don't know. This is huge. I like in my eyes, this is huge, and this is just a really freaking fantastic opportunity to be an ambassador on this like amazing page, especially because I've looked up to the It Gets Better project for such a long time too, and I have been so nervous. I have been so nervous, and honestly, the coffee is not helping because I'm getting jittery. But like, I'm just really excited, and I just cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of you taking the time to come hang out. Like, no matter if it's just like to say hi and lurk, or like just stay here forever and hang out, or like just a pop a lurk, or just to come in and then leave kind of thing. Like, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Like, it's really sweet, and I'm gonna cry. And I'm gonna cry. How are you? How are you doing? It's my Ice. How are you doing? How's everything going? How's your Pride Month going? And thank you for all the warm hellos too. I really appreciate y'all. Oh, grinding in Genshin. Who do you mean? Out of curiosity, who do you like? I'm a Chongyun main myself because I freaking love Beefy Ice Boy. I love them. And I also really love Zhao. And I love Zhao. Oh my god, I really want to do a Chongyun and also a Zhao cosplay at some point. And I just, oh, it's such a beautiful game. Oh my god. I was like absolutely and utterly obsessed with it when it first came out. I literally played that as soon as I got off of work until I had to go to sleep every single day for like months on end. Months on end. And it's been a spicy second since I've picked Genshin back up. But I really need to, because like I feel like I'm very behind in all the new characters, all the new quests, all the new like maps that have come out. Like I am just very behind at this point. I am gonna cry, I am, because it's just really sweet, and I have been so excited, so nervous, and I'm just really excited to be here. Yeah, right. Ayato, my favorite him, but oh my god, hold up, we love Ayato. The voice actor that they got for Ayato literally like just knocks it out of the park. Like just knocks it out of the freaking park every single time, and they're the funniest character. Like they added a whole bunch of comic relief, and I see so many cosplayers on the TikTok cosplaying Ayato, and I'm just like, this is where it's at. Like, I'm on the right pages. I'm on the right pages. Oh my god. I don't have many characters, to be honest. I'd probably mean Zhao, but I mostly Kaya still see. I love Kaya too. I don't know if it's like the sassiness or what, but like I love Kaya, especially because I don't know. I tend to play whenever there's like games that have elementals. I don't know why, but I gravitate towards the ice characters. I really like them for some reason, and I don't know why. Like they're great. I don't know why, but I don't know why I choose them above like wind-based characters or like fire-based characters or electric. I just like them. Plus Kaya, like look at Kaya. Look at Kaya. I did everything about them. Everything. And thank you, Clore. I really appreciate it. You're gonna do so fab. I appreciate it. I have been so excited about this stream, especially because we're gonna be talking about my identity journey while playing Kirby. Well, mostly it's gonna be me pausing the game because I go on tangents, but we're gonna like attempt to play Kirby. Like we're gonna attempt to sprinkle some Kirby in there. But I'm really excited because we're gonna be talking about my identity journey today, especially because it's been a really long one. Like it's been a spicy second, and I feel like I'm still learning stuff about myself because I went from identifying as a woman to identifying as what I call gender apathetic, which I don't even know if that's a thing, but I kind of deemed it as gender apathy, where I just didn't care at all. And then I went to gender fluid, to trans mask, to now where I'm currently at as non-binary. Actually, no, I lied, non-binary, and then where I'm currently at now is agender. Like it's been a pipeline. It's been a pipeline since like last December, I think. It's been a year and a half. This is the second Pride Month I'm celebrating as a trans person. I celebrated as a queer person before. But it's been a spicy pipeline. Oh my god. Oh my god, especially with like I don't know, family, not having family appreciate or like understand at first and things like that. So yeah, I love it. I appreciate you, Bye Eyes. Also, Jupiter, how are you doing? Joyful Jupiter's another amazing ambassador and just a lovely heckin' human. They're fantastic. How are you doing? I hope everything's going well for you too. Right? Gender, no thank you. Yeah, like I literally went from yeah, woman gender, good, me, that's me, to it's like throwing spaghetti at a wall where I was like, just throw a pronoun at me. I was like, just throw any freaking pronoun at me. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll take it. To now where I'm just like, if you even look at me with a pronoun, my brain is just like, no, I don't like that. Just, I'm a raccoon in a garbage can. And I'm just like, politely decline. Like, I'm just going to politely decline any sort of gender you give me. But thank you for the offer. Like, I appreciate you trying. Like, I just, thank you for the offer. So sweet, so kind. Oh, hi, Fox. I hope that you're doing well. So excited to see you on here, Toby. I appreciate you. I'm really excited to be here, and I've been so stressed and nervous and just excited because, I don't know, this is really cool. I'm just so excited. Yeah, okay, so yeah, because I didn't know what to deem it. Like, whenever I was trying to figure all this stuff out, like, and like realizing that I didn't identify as a woman, I was like, I've got no idea. Like, I was like, I have no idea where I'm laying, but people are asking me what my pronouns are. So I'm like, give me whatever you got. Like, just give me whatever you want to give me. And I called it gender apathy because I was just like, it just doesn't really matter to me. Like, I didn't care how people saw me, how like other people viewed me, and I didn't really care myself either. I was just kind of like, I don't really mind. Like, it's whatever, because I'm still figuring it out. And like at that point, I was like, just give me any pronoun. That way I can figure out which one like resonates with me most. Because it was like a thing where I was like, I was still okay with she, her pronouns. Like, it wasn't an issue back then, but I was like, it's like, it's not feeling like it should feel, you know? Like, it's not giving me any like joy at all, you know? Gender identity is a trash panda, honestly. Like, I feel like that's about me right now. Like, I'm just like a trash panda, and I'm okay with that. I'm just like, I don't want it. I don't want it. But like, it's fine. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, Shiny. Oh my god. Oh, panic. This is going to be my first actual Pride Month enjoying as my non-binary self, regardless of how I look on the inside to everyone else. I am really excited for you. I am so freaking excited for you, and I'm so excited. I think Pride Month last year, I was still identifying as gender fluid, and that meant that everyone still saw me as a woman. So I feel like I didn't really like celebrate it as much last year because I feel like with a lot of gender fluidity, I feel like at least when I identified as gender fluid, I feel like a lot of people still primarily used like she, her pronouns for me because that's how they viewed me. Even though I was gender fluid, I liked they and he mostly, but people were still like, oh, she uses she, her pronouns. Like, we're gonna use that because obviously woman. And so like I feel that on a deep level. And so I'm really excited for you. And I'm really excited for you, and I hope that you have a lovely heckin' Pride Month as your non-binary self, and we're here to uplift and support you, and I'm really excited for that. Right? It's so exciting. And I came out to my best friend as non-binary on our way to Pride in 2019, and it's been 3 years. Oh my god. Oh, this is a PG-13 stream, Valley. Can we get that? Can we get that deleted just because of the curse word? But yeah, it was awful, Valley. Yeah, PG-13 stream for any of my regulars, because we are very much a not PG-13 stream. Thank you. But yeah, like, I love that for you, Fox. That's really cool, and I really, like, it seems it went well, question mark? I hope it went well, question mark? But I'm really excited for you. That's lovely. Oh my god. Yeah, I feel like, I haven't So I don't know. It's really weird because we were a military family, and so we moved around a lot, and so I didn't really have a lot of like long term friends that I did things with, right? Because we just moved around all the time, and I didn't get to start figuring everything out until after college, until I got my full-time job, and I like actually until the pandemic even hit. And so like at that point I feel like I never really saw anyone. So like it's been a weird like thing where I just haven't told anyone. Which is probably for the best because like growing up in a military family and like around a whole bunch of military folks, like they're not the kindest. And so like I feel like I've got very few select people who only know because they've been on like because they are on my Twitter, and obviously I'm very loud on the Twitter about it. But like other than that, I feel like I haven't like come out to any like friends or anything because I'm just like, it's a pandemic, I never see you, and like it's you're military people, and so it's not gonna go well. But I'm really excited for you. 3 years is amazing. Yeah, and Valley, yeah, PG-13. I'm so sorry to any regulars of mine. Thank you for understanding. Yeah, but it was horrible. I feel like a lot of the time with gender fluidity and folks who use multiple sets of pronouns, um, at least in my experiences, I always feel like folks tend to use the ones that they perceive you as, or like the ones that make them most comfortable, right? Because like I cannot tell you, I could probably count on a single hand. I identified as gender fluid for I think a good like 6 to 8 months, like a really long time, because I was still trying to figure myself out, right? Where I use she, they, and he pronouns, and also any neo pronouns as well. I think actually maybe once. I think I got neo pronouns once in that time. I got they, them more than he, him, and that was primarily only from other trans or non-binary folks and other gender fluid folks and gender diverse folks. And I got she, her pretty much 99% of the time to 100% of the time from cis folks because that's what they viewed me as, especially when they saw gender fluid and like using any pronouns. So like, all right, there we go. Like, we're just going to keep using this. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of folks, especially who use pronouns that people already perceive them as. So like no matter if they use like they she pronouns or they he pronouns or a combination of he they or he they or whatever, I feel like a lot of people just still use whatever like they're most comfortable with, like without asking the other person like how like what pronoun they like better or whatever. And also, hi Verva, how are you doing? I hope that everything's going well. Yeah. And I was a she they back then. How times change, right? Look at you now, Fox. Look at you now. We're gonna be tea buddies. Like I'm excited. Like how the tables have turned, how the turns have tabled. What's the heck? What is the thing? And they were super excited. I love that. That's really sweet. We freaking love supportive friends. That makes me so happy, and I'm really happy that you've got folks like that. That's really good. That's really good. And this is my first Pride Month since coming out in January. Yes, Moonaf, I am so excited for you. And I really hope that it goes well and like that you're like I don't know, that you're feeling like good about your identity, you know? Like that's really exciting. Like I remember my first I didn't ever go to like pride events or anything because I'm not a crowds kind of person, but like I remember my first Pride month and like seeing people so excited and like it was just really nice knowing that there's like a community, you know? Especially if you grew up in an area where like you don't really have that kind of community or like your family isn't really kind about it. Like it's nice knowing that there's a community that's gonna accept you, you know? It's really nice. Digs out my special replacement words. Yeah, heck. We got heck and freaking. If you keep hearing me saying heck or freaking, you know why. We're doing the best that we can. Oh my god, and I'm really good, Verba. I'm nervous and excited. I hope that you're doing really well. And I've got coffee, which isn't helping me. So for Pride next weekend, looks at notes, depending on weather and everything, I might be cosplaying Spider-Gwen, depending on the heat, considering it's Arizona. I love that for you. I am very excited for you, and I cannot wait to hear how that goes. I have been getting into cosplay more often also. I cosplayed Lord Farquaad. I just love Lord Farquaad. I've got Lord Farquaad stuff. I've cosplayed Waluigi because we stan a non-binary king. Um, in my head canon, they're they, he, who still likes the word king, so non-binary king. I've also cosplayed Jinx from Arcane, which I really loved. Oh my god! And we're gonna be doing a Get Ready with Me Jinx cosplay stream sometime in June on my channel. I'm very excited for it. I've also cosplayed Jake from Dead by Daylight, and I've been trying to get more into it because I just love it. It's been so much fun to put together outfits and like do all the makeup and stuff. And it's really, I don't know, I get a lot of joy out of it. And so I'm really excited for you if you're able to cosplay Spider Gwen. And I hope that you have a lot of fun, especially, I hope that the heat isn't too bad because I used to go to Arizona a lot for like camping trips when I was younger. And it was always ridiculously hot there. And I was just like sweating my entire clothes off. It was just, oh. And so I'm really hopeful that you get to cosplay and that it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Also, hi, how are you doing? Black Beauty Forever. How are you doing? Lord Farquaad of my dreams. Listen, we love Lord Farquaad. We don't love Lord Farquaad because they're like very rude. He's very, very rude and awful. But like, hilarious. Hilarious. And coming out never happens all at once, right? Right. I first came out as asexual when I was 18. I'm almost 26, and I'm still not out to everyone. Yes, see, yeah, I recently figured out that I'm somewhere in the asexual spectrum. Like, I don't know where yet. But like somewhere in there because I just don't really experience sexual attraction very like scarcely, and it's like fleeting if it ever happens. And like it's you don't have to be out to everyone. And I think that's something that kind of gets portrayed in a lot of media a lot of the time. Is that like shout it from the rooftops everywhere, right? Like, which is great, which is fantastic. But I feel like we see a lot of like, hey, tell everyone, like, be proud of your identity. But that's not the case all the time, right? Like the thing is like you don't have to be out to everyone with every single like identity that you hold, especially if it isn't safe for you to be out to them and especially if you know that they're not going to be kind about it? And so I am very big on that personally to where I'm just like if they don't need to know then I'm not going to tell them because I'm not going to add more conflict in my life. Um when I don't have to and they don't need to know this kind of stuff, you know? You know? But heck yeah. Heck yeah. And especially because I think a lot of I don't know, at least in my experiences, I feel like a lot of people are very rude to asexual folks. Like, I don't know, I can't tell you how many times like people have told me, "Oh, like you should," or like ex-partners have told me like, "Hey, you probably should go to therapy like for that. Like, I wonder if therapy would help you." And I'm just like, no, like that's not how that works. But thank you. And I feel like a lot of people have this weird misconception that like if you're ace or aromantic, that you don't actually care about your partner. I feel like I see that a lot because a lot of people tie in like being romantic and like being romantically and sexually attracted to their partners really, really tightly and like really like to feel wanted like that. And so I feel like a lot of people are kind of I feel like there's a lot of misconception about that, and people are sometimes very, very rude to folks like us who don't experience that and like just feel like we don't care when we really do. We just don't like we just care in a different way. And so asexuality is just completely it's a whole nother thing. Arrow and ace identity is just a whole nother thing, especially with the intersectionality of like other identities too. And it's just it's a mess. It is a mess, and it's so much fun. Oh my god. Okay, how the turntables. We tried there. I'm all right. I'm glad that you're doing all right, Verba. And yeah, the whole perception thing is so, yup, right. Yeah, being perceived as something, especially because we live in a society that's very much still like, this is what a woman looks like, this is what a man looks like, and like, here are the social constructs we've created, and you got to fit into one of those boxes. And it's just, it's stressful. It's a lot. Especially when we think about folks who don't want to like conform to societal standards, who are trans and non-binary, and like especially when we see like non-binary femmes who like still very much like look, quote unquote, I'm gonna say this like in the way that other people think, like look like a woman, and so people perceive them as a woman, but it's like no, like the gender expression is different than the gender identity, and you have to like it's really hard to get people to deconstruct that way they can actually like understand understand the difference between expression and identity, and why you shouldn't be thinking of those two as together, because then you get into a whole mess of misgendering people who like still like to dress a certain way, and it's hard to convince cis people to have an open mind to understand and learn that kind of stuff. And it's got to happen, because that's how we're going to build a more inclusive society, to where people aren't immediately flagged as like, oh, that's a woman because like they look like a woman. Because no, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. And it's just, oh, it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. And I love the Waluigi cosplay very much. Thank you. The Waluigi cosplay is one of my favorites, just because I love Waluigi so much. Oh my god. Hi, how are you, Cater Todd? Thank you so much. I am really excited and nervous, and I'm really excited to be here. How are you doing? How are you doing? I'm sorry, I know I'm a little behind, because ADHD, it just goes off. Just goes off. Like, I am going as a buff Thembo, basically an Abby cosplay from The Last of Us Part 2 one day, and then Spider-Gwen the next. I am so excited for that. That is amazing, and I cannot wait to see, I cannot wait to hear how it goes. Like, I hope that you have so much fun, because that sounds amazing, and I'm so excited for you. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you. Right? Yeah, you don't have to be out to everyone. For real, self-preservation first. Exactly. Like, especially when you know that it's going to be dangerous for you, or like even if you're not sure how it's gonna go. I feel like a lot of people, at least in my experiences, a lot of people are just like, oh, just like rip the band-aid off. Like, it's gonna be fine. Like, either they're gonna love you or they're not. Like, just rip it off so you know. And I'm just like, no. Especially for folks who like still live with family members and things like that, or like still live with folks, and you're not sure, like that can be very dangerous. Like, that could be very dangerous. And I don't like I don't like folks like trying to tell people to do that, because I'm just like, you don't know their situation, you don't understand, like you could be like putting them at risk. And I'm just like, it's okay to just not be out to everyone, especially also in like workplaces and stuff too. Like, it's just, you just don't have to be, especially if it's not going to do much, and especially if it potentially could harm you, your relationships, um your livelihood, and so yeah, self-preservation first. Yeah, people can be horrible about it. Yeah, your ace, did you do the diddly do? Maybe you haven't met the right person. You don't know what you're like until you've tried it. Honestly, it's just like, maybe you haven't, like maybe it just hasn't been good yet. And I'm just like, no, that's not how it works. But thank you for inserting yourself. Thank you for inserting yourself in there, especially for like arrow folks too. Like, maybe you just haven't met the right person. Like, once you meet the love of your life, you'll understand. And it's just like, no, like, no, that's not how it works. And for people, like, I think that folks don't understand is that for people where that is how it works, they weren't arrow or ace in the first place. You know? Like, they weren't in the first place. Maybe they thought it, but then they weren't, because that's not how that works. And it's just, oh, it's so stressful and it's horrible. And I have so much family and friends where I grew up, that I only vaguely mention things about my sexual identity, pan/demi, but not really my gender identity, considering my Facebook post last night that might change. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, my growing up, my family did not know that I was queer at all. Like, I was just like, nope, that's fine. Like, they don't need to know. Like, no one in my life needs to know. Even like throughout college, I think the only people who know, well, I think the only people like I actually told that I was queer were like some of my best friends, and that was like about it. Um, and then I figured out my non-binary identity, trans identity later on after college, and so like that didn't apply. But yeah, like, I feel like I just don't come out to a lot of people, and that's fine. That's fine, because you don't have to. And I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Yeah, the societal boxes are horrible, and I really hope that we eventually break away from them, because it's awful. Yeah, sometimes it's even, this is what we want women/men to look like, and not beyond that. Exactly. And I feel like that's why a lot of trans folks like actually do go through and like start T or start estrogen and stuff, is because for safety, we kind of have to. Like, for safety, we kind of have to, in order to like get people to like see us as who we are, because otherwise, like, we're at risk. We're at risk for hate crimes, for misgendering, for like a whole bunch of other things. And I feel like that's why like not everyone goes through it, but like I feel like quite a few folks do like go through and like get these changes because of that, because they need to in order to make sure that they are safe in their identity from other folks. And yeah, our society is still way too skin deep in regards to like, yeah, non-binary mask, and I kind of hate how mask I just come off as, yeah. Oh God, yeah. I feel like I was the same way. I feel like I was the same way when I still identified as gender fluid. I was always just kind of like, because I still like I didn't mind wearing makeup and stuff. I'm kind of the point now where I'm just like, I don't really care and I just don't wear it. But like whenever I was gender fluid, I still like enjoyed wearing makeup and I like would do like fun like sunset looks and things like that. But like without a doubt, like it would always just be like someone new pops into stream, it's just like she her. Like completely just she her. And I was just like got to a point where I was like, nope, we're gonna stop this. For my personal like for my sanity and to like get gendered correctly. We're gonna stop this right now. Welcome and thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Like I'm just like it's gonna stop because otherwise I am just gonna be unhappy because people just keep seeing the makeup and going, she her. Like seeing the makeup, hearing the voice, and just going, she her. And it's just that's about all I got. Just that's all I got. The Waluigi with the rose. Thank you. Like that was listen. I looked over because I sometimes keep the rose down here. I put it in the bathroom. It's fine. But I love the Waluigi with the rose. I love Waluigi so much. Like I don't know. I don't even know why. But like I just feel like my brain is just so like tied to Waluigi, and granted purple is my favorite color, so maybe that's why. And I don't know, it's fine. Everything's peachy keen. Bella, how are you doing? Hi! Welcome in! Hi! Hello from Bella and the Cashews. How are you doing? Oh my gosh, how are you doing? And for folks who don't know me, hi, I'm Tofi. I'm a non-binary Chinese variety streamer, and we are the It Gets Better channel, a wonderful nonprofit dedicated to educating, supporting, and connecting LGBTQIA plus youth across the globe. And we're talking about my identity journey today. How are you doing? How is stream? How are you? Hello, how are you, Swirlin? And also Sage, hi, and also Ariel. How are y'all doing? Hi, Bella, how are you? Happy Pride Month. Happy heckin' Pride Month. I hope that y'all are doing well. We're talking identity. We're talking identity. And I love it, Abby cosplay. Right? How cool is that, Oxford? Like, how freaking cool is that? And I refuse to fit into one of the society's boxes. I'm a large circle. I do not fit into a tiny box. We're all beautiful and perfect as we are. Heck yes. And I feel the same way about labels too. Like, I feel like there are so many labels, and like, I feel like sometimes I don't fit perfectly into specific labels, and so I'm just like the same way about that, where I'm like, it helps to explain things, but like I'm not tying myself as specifically to a specific identity label, because I'm just like, I'm like, humans are more complex than that, and I am more complex than that. My experiences and the intersectionality that I have is more like complex than that, and so it gives a really good like baseline to help explain and find community, but you don't have to fit perfectly inside there, Hi, welcome in, welcome in. I hope that you're doing. How were the Sims? How are you liking the new pronouns update? How are you liking the new pronouns update? Oh my gosh. And hi, how are you doing, Glitches Machine? Sorry, I'm so behind because I am so chatty. How are you? We spent the morning talking about nonsense, Fortnite, Twilight, and fun stuff in The Sims. I love that for you, and I hope it was fun. Also, I hope that your Fortnite stream was fun last night. I hope that you had a really fun time. Right? Happy Pride. I love that Tina emote so much. Like, Tina is a gay icon and we love her. Yes, we love her in this household. Absolutely. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 3 in real life friends know I'm bi. I ain't telling anyone else. Exactly. I'm like, I've got my handful of friends, like I've got like my handful of friends that I trust, like my best friends that I trust that know I'm non-binary, and like, that's it. Like, that's all who needs to know from my childhood. Like, that is all who needs to know from, like, my high schools and, like, the friends that I've got, the people on Facebook. I'm like, like, no one else needs to know. Because that's fine. Because that's fine. How are you, Bobby? Like, Yes, look at this non-binary rasher. It is my favorite thing. Sealy Art did it. And they did a lot of other fun pride colorations and variations too. And it's my favorite thing. I also, IDing as ace and finding yourself attracted to someone, right? Perfectly okay. Sexuality can be fluid and isn't always total, exactly. But you can't expect or make an ace person be attracted to someone. That's just incorrect. Exactly. And there's a whole bunch of micro labels under asexuality as well. I know for demisexuality, at least, like, you only experience that sexual attraction when you have a connection to them, like once you have a connection to them. And so, like, there's a lot of micro labels that fit under asexuality, and to like to where I think where the like water gets muddied and to like why people tell us like, oh, you just haven't met the right person, because like there are micro labels, and like once you form a connection with someone, then that attraction might happen, but it's like not there like from the baseline, from the get-go, like not knowing someone, just like looking at someone, you know. And so it's just, oh, it's just fun. And like, that's why labels and micro labels, like, it's all just so complex, and humans are so complex. And it's sometimes really difficult to figure out where you fit in. And yeah, non binary folks are drawn to Waluigi. Absolutely. See, that's the headcanon we're going to go with. That's the headcanon we're gonna go with, because yeah, because I a non-binary is loves Waluigi. How are you doing? Oh my god. Yeah, labels got annoying to me because I've been tromboning it my whole life. Yeah, I just use the queer, the Q to encompass everything. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's how I've kind of gotten to where I'm just like, yeah, I'm queer. That's it. Like that's the baseline. Like I don't have to go into like exactly the specifics of everything. I'm just like just queer, because that's where I fit into. Like that's where I fit into. And it was so fun. Queers taking care of queers in Fortnite just hits differently. I love that, Bella. And I need to play. I need to reach out because I think it'd be really fun to play that game with you too. Because I freaking love Fortnite. And I'm waiting on them to put a Shrek skin in it. Like I don't think they're ever going to because it's been so long since Shrek came out. But I need them to add a Shrek skin to Fortnite. I need it. Oh my god. Oh my god, thank you. I appreciate it. My ADHD brain just kind of goes off sometimes and I ramble, and that means like chat goes by so quickly. So thank you for being so patient with me. But right, Tina is so freaking great. Like I love her so much. And she is so funny. So is Luis and Jean. Like literally, I think every single character in Bob's Burgers are just chef's kiss. Like every single one is so uniquely different, and it just makes me so incredibly happy that we're seeing like a non-perfect family on the screen, and it's just so good, and everyone's so unique and so funny, and just God, I just love Bob's Burgers. God, I just love them. Right? Nobody else needs to know because that's fine. Like as long as you're happy in what in your identity and how you're identifying in your like space, like that's really what matters. Like that's really what matters. So, yeah. Obsessed with the gay rats. Like, listen, right? Right. I wish I put a zoom cam on this. But like there's little sunflower seeds too. There's little like sunflower seeds that are purple and white, and it's just so happy. And like the thing is, I also really love very like subtle pride shirts too, like because like I don't know, I like sometimes I don't need every single person whenever I'm going to the store or something. Like I, for safety reasons, because you never know, I don't want to just wear like a giant like trans shirt, like a giant shirt that just like says trans across the front or something, or like has like or things like that, because like some people are not kind, and I want to make sure that I do not get hate crimed in a Walmart. And so I love subtle things like this because like if you didn't know the non-binary colors, you would just think this was a cute little rat shirt. Like you would just think this is a funky little rat shirt. Like, and so I love little subtleties like that, because I feel safer like actually wearing them places, while still having something on me that feels like my identity, because that's also really important to me, especially because when I go out, like people are just like, woman. So like having something that makes me know that I am who I am is really kind and really nice and very helpful in my brain. I've been struggling a lot with labels lately, actually. Ooh, I'm so comfy using she, they pronouns, but every time I try to label why, I'm like, no clue. But being around so many supportive folks take the pressure away. I was the same way whenever I was like whenever I was gender apathetic and gender fluid and like figuring things out. Like, it was a weird thing. Actually, it was really funny because my job actually helped me realize that I didn't just like she her pronouns. Like I was trying to figure out my identity for so long and like the pronouns I like to use, and like for some reason she her just wasn't feeling right anymore, and I couldn't put a finger on why. And it was really weird because I was like, I don't know why, because I comfortably identified as a woman for 25 years, something like that, 24 and a half years. And so, like, whenever I was trying to figure things out, I was like, I've got no clue how to even express this or like how to even like conceptualize it because, like, it's just a feeling. Like, it was just a weird gut feeling. And, like, what really solidified it was my work was doing a really funky, like, they were like trying to be better and more inclusive about like pronoun usage and like making sure that we don't like assume people's pronouns and things like that, which is really great. And they sent out they sent out lanyards, pronoun lanyards to everyone. So we had to like fill out a little survey saying like, hey, I use she her pronouns, I use they them pronouns, I use he him pronouns, I use other, and then like you would just write it in. And they actually like sent out like these pronoun like lanyards to everyone. And it was really funny because I could never put a finger on it. But as soon as as soon as I got the package, I like just broke down in tears. It was so funny. Like looking back on it, it's just very funny now because I literally like opened the package, saw the she her like just like plastered to this lanyard, and I was like, this is not me, I hate this. And I just like cried. I like cried for a good like hour because I was like, I like, and I still didn't understand why. I was like, I don't understand why this doesn't feel like me, I can't explain it. And that's when I went to gender apathy and gender fluidity, where I was just like, I'm trying to figure this out, but I hate she her. But you know, it was very funny. Like I was, it was really funny. And I still just can't really put a finger on why. Like I cannot put in words like why it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. So I feel that on a deep level, Bella. I feel that on a deep level. And then is when I started getting into Twitch and finding a whole bunch of lovely heckin' communities like Shinies and Aces and A Quarter Ghost and Proud Owl or The Proud Owl. Like just a whole bunch of queer, trans, non-binary, gender non-conforming. Momo Misfortune actually is one of the first folks that I found also. Like getting into a whole bunch of like gender like trans, gender not conforming, non-binary folks' Twitch channels and realizing, oh, got it. Got it. You know? And so it's so stressful. Oh my God. Yeah. It's just, you know, sometimes it's just little funny things like that. It's just sometimes little funny things like that. Yeah. And I ended up giving up on specific labels. They cause too much stress. Yeah. Labels are indefinite. They're interchangeable tools. Yeah. And sometimes they really help people. Like sometimes they really, really help people, especially in finding community, especially when like, you grow up in places where you don't have that. Like it's so phenomenally helpful, right? But other times it can also feel very othering when like a whole bunch of people who like identify a certain way, like are just like, oh yeah, like this is what I feel. This is like this is my identity, and you're like, oh, I don't like feel exactly that way. So am I like technically in this label? And it can feel very othering in that kind of way too, which is why I'm very much like a, you know, they're helpful, but not for me. Not always for me. Yeah. Yeah, Shiny, I get that. Like I use transmasculine when I'm talking about medical transition plans. Yeah, because it helps with context. Yup. Exactly. But I'm like, I just, you know, I'm like, I don't feel like masculine personally. Like I'm like transmasc, like 'cause I'm trans and also like don't identify with my femininity at all. Like I just do not, but I'm not like super masculine to where I feel like transmasculine is the right word, but it helps whenever like I'm trying to think about my transition and why I want to go on T and things like that, you know? And yeah, Bob is a gay icon for sure. I love Bob's Burgers. It's just getting better with age, right? It just keeps getting better. It's just, oh, it's so good. It's just so good. And I've become quite comfy with my sexuality, but I can say I will never come out to the rest of my family because they'll not accept me like the people I've already told. Yep, exactly. The people who matter know, and that's all I care about. Exactly. That's kind of how I am too. Like I am just like the people who need to know. The people who I want to know, excuse me, not even need to know, because no one needs to know. The people who I want to know. And that's all I need because they give me the validity and uplift me and support me. And that's how it matters. And that's how it matters. I noticed one of my colors coloring the non-binary flag on their arm, and they felt comfy enough with me to open up and tell me their name and pronouns. I love that. That's really sweet. The children are all right. I love that. That makes me really incredibly happy because like that can be really stressful. That can be really stressful. Like I don't know how I would do in a school setting like in this day and age. Oh my god, I don't know what I would do as a non-binary person if I had realized in my like school days. I would not have come out to anyone cuz like I was in environments where like it would not be safe to tell people, right? And so like it's so stressful, right? I love seeing queer people out in the wild where you just like nod at each other, right? Like you see like a subtle thing and you're just like, yes. It's so cute. Also, how are you, Duber? I'm so sorry. I'm so behind. I hope that you're doing well. My just brain is like rambling, and so I really appreciate it. Yeah. Right? Anything but she. Yep, anything but he for me. Right? Right? What a mood. Tofi, did I send you the welcome to Barnes? And no! Where did it go? Yes, you did. About not IDing as a woman anymore. Yes, and I like cried laughing. Because I was like, yeah, that's a full mood, isn't it? Thank you for the sub. I appreciate you so much. Welcome. That's really sweet. Thank you for the sub. But yeah, like that's literally how it was. Because I was like, I was so comfortable in identifying as a woman for so long, and one day it was just like a sheet lifted, and it was like you hate it now, and I was just like, pretend there's a zoom camera, just like I was just like, ah, what happened? I don't know how to conceptualize what happened. But now I'm happier, so like that's what matters. That's what matters. That's what matters. But yeah, I cried laughing at that, and I love that kind of stuff so much, Fox, so thank you. Also, Lilith, enjoy your haircut. I'm so excited for you. Oh my god! I cannot wait for your haircut. I hope that you absolutely love it, and I hope that it just gives you the queer energy that you need. I hope that it gives you the queer energy that you heckin' need, right? She, her pronouns for you, Ice. Okay, good to know, good to know. Thank you. Yeah, it was it was such a funny TikTok. And I think it's really fun because I am definitely on like queer and trans TikTok. I'm on so many other TikToks, but like I am predominantly on like queer and trans TikTok. And it makes me so incredibly happy, and it makes me so happy because there's so many people just like talking about their identity and talking about how they figured it out and like living in their joy and euphoria and stuff, and I'm just like, this is what I needed as a child, because I probably would have like figured it out way earlier. I probably would have figured my identity out way earlier if I had that kind of stuff when I was growing up, right? And I'm just like, I love that this kind of stuff exists now because like it's so easy and accessible to find, especially for folks who aren't comfortable and can't like talk to people about it in real life, you know? Right? When I'm outside and wearing a mask, I guess she sometimes, and it's nice. I love that for you, Umi. Oh my God. See, that is why I love, that's why I really enjoy masks too, because I feel like every once in a while, like if I'm wearing a binder and like wearing really baggy clothes and wearing a mask and like not talking, because I know my voice gives it away most of the time, because a lot of people hear my voice and they're like, oh, she, and I'm like, no, none of that she, her, none of those like femme compliments. I'm like, beautiful love. I'm just like, no, I don't want it. Oh, because it gives me so much dysphoria. But like every once in a while, like if I've got my mask on, I'm wearing a baggy shirt, I've got my binder on, I'm just like, this is nice, because like people aren't automatically assuming she, her, and I'm just like, yes, this is a win. This is a win for me. This is a win. And it's just, oh, it's so stressful. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I only go into LGBTQ plus safe channels. Yup, exactly. And like the thing is also, it's also I feel especially if you've got multiple, like especially with any kind of intersectionality, I feel like it's sometimes really difficult to find safe communities. Especially if you're just queer, like just finding an LGB safe community is difficult. And then adding on top of that, also hi Ace, how are you? Adding on top of that, like being like trans or non-binary or gender non-conforming, like sometimes queer spaces aren't safe for that. And so like finding the intersectionality between those two and finding safe channels for those is difficult. Adding on a disability, if you're disabled, like it's hard to find a queer, a LGBTQIA plus safe channel that's also like not ableist. And adding on race, like hard to find a channel, especially if you're POC, a channel that also is kind to POC, and then adding on a whole bunch of like mentally, yeah, it's a lot. Like I feel like it's just difficult to find like super safe places, especially when you layer on all these different intersecting identities, and it's stressful. But like it's nice to see the tags at least, like at least me popping into a place that has LGBTQIA plus that tag. It makes me feel so much better because I'm just like, all right, the chances of me feeling safe in here with all the other identities I hold gets elevated a little. Like, I'm a little safer, at least in that identity. So let's see how they do on these other things, right? Like, so it's so much. It's so difficult. It's so difficult. Oh my god, and it's so nice. And you're so in your element right now, Tofi. I'm loving this conversation so damn much. Oh, so dang much. I appreciate you endlessly. No, you. I appreciate you, and it's been really, really nice to see you grow too. Like when I saw you pop on them they them pronouns, I was like, oh, she's a she they. Like, ah, yes. I'm like, it just makes me so happy. Sorry, that was probably really loud. But it just gets me really excited when I see friends um like like changing their pronouns or adding new pronouns on because I'm just like, yes, they're figuring out themselves more. Like, yes, I love this. And it makes me so incredibly happy. And it's been really nice to see you and all my other freaking friends who are like continually growing and learning. It just makes me so happy to see because, like you deserve to continually learn about yourself. And it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. I'm so sorry. I'm so behind. I work as a para for young children. I'm going to school for art teaching, and honestly, helping kids feel comfortable with who they are is so important to me. Yeah, right? Especially if you didn't have that as a child. Like, especially if you don't have that as a child. That is a huge thing. That is a huge thing for youth to have, like someone who supports them and loves them, like quote unquote, despite their LGBTQI identity, because a lot of folks are rude about that. Like, it's nice to have someone who like is in the community who supports you and like understands and like helps you figure out your identity because it makes a world of difference. Like, it would have helped so much for me at least, you know? Also, I hope that you're doing ace. And hi, Tatty Panda, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing well too. Yeah, it's like an epiphany. Like, whenever you start figuring things out, it's just like, oh, dang, okay, that's nice. Like, look at me figuring myself out. Love this. Yesterday at work, I had a very wholesome interaction with a mother and her young child. Oh, I love that for you, Shiny. I love that for you. The kid was like, is that a they? Because I was sitting in a coworker's chair who had her name on it, and the kid clearly identified me as a man, which I am. Oh my god. And the mom was like, I'm pretty sure that's not his name. And the mom goes on to tell me how she's teaching her child about different genders so her kid can see that there is more than just a boy and a girl. And I almost cried. That makes me so happy because a lot of like, there are quite a few parents who don't do that. And like, you can tell. And it's just like, especially because like, the thing is, from a young age, like kids are susceptible. What is it? They're like a sponge. Like they soak up a lot of information and they're very open to learning, right? Like from childhood, you don't know anything. You learn from the people around you. And so like if you start learning at a young age about LGBTQI plus identity and about pronouns and about gender and about sexuality and things like that, you're going to be more open to all this, like because you're learning from that in an open-minded area rather than in a hateful state, which is harder to deconstruct later on. It's harder to deconstruct and like get people to understand later on because as a kid, you don't know anything and you're just like learning from the world around you. So I love that. That makes me so happy, Shiny. And yes, have a great time zone, Bella. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, queer and trans TikTok is like literally the the best place to be. I love it. I'm also on decolonizing TikTok too. I'm on indigenous TikTok and like Two Spirit TikTok and like just pretty much POC TikTok. And it just makes me so happy. And it's just this giant pool of just like learning. And it's so fun, along with the like occasional chaos because me. If you've seen any of my TikToks, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But it's so much fun. And I just love it because there's so much. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Right? Isn't that so heckin' sweet? I love that, Shiny. Shiny crying in the club right now, right? The whole moment literally just made me so happy. It reminded me that there are great people out there. Right, right. And that makes me so incredibly happy because there needs to be like discussions like that from a young age. There needs to be that kind of learning and education from a young age because like kids just don't know things and they want to learn. Like they want to learn. Oh yeah, thank you for the pronoun check. I primarily use they them pronouns, but z, zir, or he, him is also okay. If you're comfortable with it, please feel free to drop your pronouns in the chat. Also welcome in Lazy Third Eye. I hope that you're doing well. And right, many progressive activist groups are friendly. Yeah, yeah, which is really fantastic. Right, right. I know you, Ace. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're having a heckin' lovely time zone. And welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, every day is a learning experience when it comes to checking myself and my community for ableism. Yes, there's so much ableist slang, like way too much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that has been something that we've been doing in the swamp too. Sorry, the swamp is the community, is my community on my Twitch channel. We're the swamp because we're ogres and we like Shrek. And I love Shrek, excuse me. Everyone in my community loves Shrek, let's be honest. And if you don't, what are you doing? But yeah, we've recently started learning about ableist terms, especially casually ableist language and terms too. Like things like stupid, crazy, things like that. Lame is a huge one too. Like there is so much ableist language, like casually ableist language ingrained in our society. Goodness, just ingrained in our society. And it's been a time like trying to like learn more about it and making sure that like whenever someone says something that's casually ableist, like immediately flagging it and being like, oh, let's find a different word for that because there is so much. Oh my gosh, like there is like a giant document that lists out all of them and the explanations for each, and there is so much on there to where like it's a lot to remember, but like we're trying really hard, and so that's a huge. Actually, hold on, let me see if I can find. I've got a link. I've got a link. And I'm like very big on like resource sharing because I want to make sure that we're continually learning. Where is my link on ableist language? Because I've got it somewhere. Here we go. The wonderful person Ronan on Twitter made like this freaking phenomenal anti-ableism like resource page, and it's got a whole bunch of like links to like commonly like casually ableist words and language, and a whole bunch of links to like why it's harmful, like a lot of content, along with some like donation links too, and it's really cool. And like Ronan did just a absolutely phenomenal job on it, and so that's a link that I like to share around. But it's got a lot of great information. So if you want to learn more about casually ableist language, oh, did it grab it? Yeah, please drop the link if you can. I didn't realize it would catch me because I'm not a mod. Thank you. But yeah, please feel free to pop that in. But it's a great link. It's a great link. So yeah. Yeah, and I'm 41 and I've seen it change so much. Hold on, I missed something. Yeah, the 90s were really bad. I'm 41, so I've seen it change so much. Yeah, and I'm glad that at least like we're moving forward, like very slowly, remarkably slowly, but moving, because that's what we need. Also, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Like we need to at least continually be moving forward, because it's better than taking a step back, even just being at a standstill is very stressful. But like we just have to keep moving forward. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Right. Yes. Susceptible is open to, exposed to. Thank you. We did very bad in English as a child. So my vocabulary is not great. Thank you for that. Susceptible. Yeah, kids are very susceptible to learning. So yeah, it's great. It's great. And they need to know from a young age. And I remember learning about Melissa Etheridge when I was at a family holiday. I still remember what they said, and I've got so much respect for them, and my family did really good. Oh, that's really great. Heck yeah. And Duber, she, her, thank you for sharing your pronouns. They, them for Umi, Shiny's he, him, Chlor is they, them, Glitter Moon Elf is she, her, Ice is she, her. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. And I'm on trans TikTok, and as a cis lady, I'm like, okay, For You page, go off, I guess, right? It's so much fun. It's so much fun, and I love seeing all the different sides of TikToks. At least I'm on the good sides of TikTok, right? I have not seen any of the bad sides of TikTok, thankfully. But I'm just like, it's really nice to see, like, it's just really cool to see just a whole bunch of people, especially in this day and age of COVID. I'm just like, I'm seeing and learning so much that I probably would never have known or never like learned about and things like that, because I just, depending on the area you live and the people you're around, and like what's going on, like how busy you are, it's just, sometimes you don't see different blah 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 blahs, different perspectives and different like people and things like that. And so it's really nice. It's really nice. And Soul, she, her, thank you so much. Hi, how are you, Nuri? Shag Crispy is he, him. Thank you, Lazy Third Eye. They, them, Hex. Ooh, I love that. Nuri is they, she. Heck yeah. Thank y'all so much. Maddie, how are you doing? She, her. Ace is they, she. Thank y'all so much for dropping your pronouns. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, I've got to send it to you. Heck, 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 heck. Hold on. How do I message you? We're going to whisper you, my friend. We're doing the best that we can. I don't know how to whisper you on this, but it's fine. It's fine. Let me DM it to you. Let me DM it to you. We're going to drop this. Where's a shiny pen? Where's a shiny pen? There you go. I DM'd it to you on Discord. All right, there we go. My son came in, saw what I was watching, was like, hey, that's the person who likes Shrek. Yes! Yes! I love that your son knows that about me. Like, if he doesn't know anything else about me, just knowing that I'm a Shrek person makes me so incredibly happy. Like, makes me so incredibly happy. Oh my gosh. That makes me so happy. Oh, how are you, 1D fan? I hope that you're doing well. And I'm still working on trying to learn what is ableist and how to change the words I'm using. Yeah, and it's difficult especially because we've learned so much. Like, the ableist language is like so ingrained in everything. Even in movies and in shows, TV, in songs, even like everything is just, there's just so much. And it's a lot to remember too. And I think that's the thing about any learning journey, right? Is like, it's a lot to remember, and it's not expected that if someone tells you something, you're going to remember it 100% of the time, especially when there's always so much to learn. But taking the initiative to like being open to learning and continually trying and changing language as it's flagged, that is the thing that matters. Like, the fact that you're trying is the thing that matters, because slip-ups always happen, like, it's difficult. There's so much, and my brain sucks, at least. Like, my memory is absolute trash. Like, it's so bad. And so just knowing, like, just being open and, like, wanting to learn and, like, making changes as they're flagged is the thing that matters most. And so I love that. And I've had people go out of their way to type certain words to avoid automod. Yep. And I'm like, if you had to do all that, then you knew it was a blocked word. Exactly. What an absolute heckin' mood. And I'm just like, why are you trying to do this? Like, you have this much free time on your hands? Like, just use a different thing. Like, just say something else. Were the freezer in my ears perked up when you said you like ice characters? I love that. Yeah, I don't know what it is about ice characters. I just love them. Like, I'm just obsessed with Chongyun and Kaya. I just love Chongyun so much from Genshin Impact, and I cannot put a finger on why, except just ice character, and I just love them. And it's not easy, but making the effort goes a long way, right? Exactly. Making the effort is the thing that matters most, right? And it's everywhere, but once you start replacing your words, you notice it more and it gets easier to replace. Exactly. Yeah, and like, I've started switching out words with silly. Silly is a big one that I use instead of like crazy or stupid or lame and things like that. I just say it's very silly. Or wild. It's wild. That's it. Like, that's what you got. Because that's like, it's an easy switch once you've like done it enough, and it becomes like habit to switch it out, right? So yeah, but it takes a spicy second. She, her, him, heck yeah, I love that. Thank you. It's a non-binary rat shirt, and it's my favorite heckin' thing. It's my favorite thing, and it's very subtly pride. So thank you. It's from Sealy Art on Twitter, and they have a whole bunch of other like queer identities, and it's the best thing in the entire universe, and I love it. And I just love it. And she or him love that. Thank you for sharing, Wendy fan. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're doing well. How's your Pride Month going? And thank you for the link. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a phenomenal resource. And Ronan put a lot of work into like creating it and was so kind to share it around. Like he did so much for that, and it's a great resource. So heck yeah, and literally everywhere. Yep, we grew up with it. It's rooted in our social language, unfortunately. Exactly. Like just think about the movie. What is it? Crazy Stupid Love. You already got two casually ableist words in there. Like it's everywhere, and it's difficult, especially when media, popular media and things don't like think about it and don't flag it and things like that, and games don't flag it and games don't like switch those words out. It just becomes habit to say them because what like how would you know? How would you know that it's an issue to say those things and it's problematic to say those things if no one is telling you and you see it everywhere, you know? It's just, oh, it's so stressful. It's stressful. Yeah, I'm just gonna forget everything and have to relearn. Exactly. I feel like that's pretty much what I've had to do. I'm slowly deconstructing everything because everything is problematic, which sucks. Like everything sucks. And I'm just like, we're just relearning literally every single thing because that's what we have to do because we've grown up from society, like from a young age learning all these things that are problematic, and we've got to sit back, reflect, and realize that hey, we got to relearn everything. We got to relearn everything. Hi Sean, how are you doing today? How are you doing? You missed the chaotic queers anonymous meeting, so we brought it to you. I love that. How are y'all doing? For folks who don't know me, hello, I'm Tofi. I'm a non-binary Chinese variety streamer who loves Shrek. And today we are on the It Gets Better channel, which is a freaking wonderful nonprofit that uplifts, educates, and connects youth from all around the globe. And we're talking about identity and labels, and we're actually talking about ableism right now, too. Welcome in. How are you doing? Sean is one of the other lovely ambassadors for the It Gets Better project. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that everything's going well. And I think you're doing I think Sean's actually doing a stream with a couple of other lovely ambassadors sometime this month, and I'm really excited about it, about labels and if they still fit. Flag me if that's wrong, but I think that my brain like subtly remembers seeing that on the Twitter, on the Bird app. How are you doing? How was stream? What were y'all playing? Welcome the heck in. Thank you for all the warm welcomes too. I appreciate y'all so much. Did you say a non-binary zebra? We are a non-binary zebra. You know what? I have deemed myself as a trash panda, a non-binary agender trash panda who just gender, no thank you. Like no thank you. Like that's what I got. Monday. Okay. Monday. See, I knew it was coming up. My brain remembered seeing the post. Heck yeah, I hope that you're doing. I hope that it goes well. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be really, really fun because like it's just going to be a great talk and I cannot heckin' wait. How are you doing, Aaron? I hope that you're doing well. And Kawaii, how are you doing? And Metro Panties, I love that. How are y'all doing? How are you doing? How's everything going? And if you're coming in with the raid, please do not feel bad if you've got a raid and run. Please take care of yourselves, get some self-care, and actually I probably should drink some coffee. It's been like an hour since I've had a hydrate. It's been a spicy second since I've had a hydrate. Please hydrate. How are you doing? And thank you for the follows as well. Oh, yes, you're on your run of Kingdom Hearts, and I've been seeing all your TikToks, and it's been very fun. How was it? I'm so excited. I hope that it's been going well. Right, yeah, we need to hydrate. Every time I stream, I feel like we just get so much fun. Like we just get so much fun chats going that like my brain never remembers to like take care of myself. Like I never hydrate or anything like that, and I gotta do better at that. So every once in a while, just like scream at me and tell me to drink something. Just tell me to drink something because I really need it. Like I really need it because I forget otherwise. Oh, unbelievable is another good word. Yes, so we're talking about ableist language and how it's like super rooted into pretty much everything in society and like switching out casually ableist language with other words. And so we were saying wild is a good one to switch things out with. Silly is one that I switch out with. Unbelievable is a good one. I'm gonna have to use that too. Unbelievable is a good one. Silly, goofy, wild, ridiculous. Those are all really good ones. Yeah. I need to add silly because I use wild way too much. Yeah, same thing. Like I use wild like literally for everything, and I've just recently started subbing things out with silly instead, and I've really liked it because I think it's fun. Yeah, erratic, unreasonable, depending on context. Those are good ones too. Those are good ones too. Right, and again, like it's just about learning and trying to do better, and that's really what matters. Especially because like I slip up all the time too, because we there's just so many words. There's so many casually ableist words, and it's really difficult to remember every single one until like you use it enough, you know? Yeah. And yeah, I'm good. I don't really use my Twitch. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. I only got into Twitch like a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago now, because a friend got into it, and now look at where we're at. Now look at where we're at. Oh my god. And Ari, you pronouns interchangeable. Do you have a preference of usage? Thank you for asking. I highly prefer they them over anything else, over the Z or the he, but Z, Z, and he, him are also okay. I feel like I'm like just continually trying to figure out what pronouns to use. Cause like, okay, here's the fun thing. Here's the fun thing. Reckless is a good one too. Reckless is a good one. I hope that you're doing well, Taz. Also, drink. Hold on, let me take another sip before I go into this whole thing. Hold up. So recently, we're talking about identity journey, and recently, have a great lurk, Clore. Like recently, I have been like figuring myself out more because I used to identify before I went to non-binary. I used to identify as trans mask, and I've recently been realizing that I like non-binary and agender. I think agender is like the micro label that I'm most resonating with currently. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. And I've been using they, them, zir, and he, him pronouns, and like I definitely highly, highly, highly prefer they, them over anything else because I definitely am in a stage where I'm just like, I don't want to be perceived. I just don't want to be perceived is the thing. Like, I don't want people to like look at me and see like either she, her, or he, him. I just want to be a garbage raccoon where you look at me and I'm just like, yeah, it's a bit like, huh? Because I just, like, you know, you know? And the only reason I think, the only reason I've currently kept he, him, I've been considering dropping it for a very long time, like for quite a few months. And unfortunately, like the only reason I've really kind of kept he, him in my repertoire of pronouns, my repertoire of pronouns that I use, is specifically for people who cannot grasp they, them, or zir. Because in my brain at least, for me and myself and I, if someone's going to misgender me, it's gonna be in the opposite direction. Like, if someone's gonna misgender me, I need to make it clear that it's gonna be in the he, him direction and not in the she, her direction, you know? And so the he, him has just kind of been on my pronouns repertoire literally for that reason. For the folks who cannot seem to get they, them, or zir, and like who only think in she, her, or he, him. And so I've had like, especially like it's really nice because I feel like with the community that I found myself in and that I've cultivated and that I found on in all of my spaces, like everyone is fantastic and they just pretty much use they them 99.99% of the time. They them or zir like 99.99% of the time. The he him is for the cis people. The he him is for the cis people, and especially the people at my job because I finally like over the last like year or something, I've been like more prominent about the pronouns that I use, and I like have my pronouns listed everywhere as they, z, and he, and like the he, him is because a lot of the people I work with are cis folks who just most of the time just like don't pay attention, right? Who just don't pay attention and like care, but like it's just like a case where it's just like everyone's too absolutely ridiculously busy to like actual because we don't have anything that's like especially for like WebEx meetings and things like that. It's like we don't have anywhere that like has our pronouns listed for people to see, because that's just not implemented and it's so stressful. And so I just have he him on there because at work, like, they're really bad at getting they them right. And so I'm just like, we're just gonna go in the opposite direction. We're going in the opposite direction. But I've been like debating for a really long time to take the he him off of my online spaces, because I know people will get it in the online spaces because that's how I've cultivated the people that I'm around and the communities that I'm around, right? 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 And yeah, I've got no gender. It just jumped out a window a few months ago, right? Gender void. Honestly, just gender void completely. Just like, just don't perceive. Don't perceive. So your gender is no. Yeah, like literally someone asked me and I'm just like, no, politely decline. Like, I'm just gonna politely decline that because I don't want it. I don't want it. But thank you for the offer because that was very kind of you to ask. Like, that was very kind of you to ask me. And we're literally perceiving you right now. So should we look away? Yeah, just like, I'll just like, hold up. I'll just, where is it? I'll just, oh, bye. Okay, so we're gonna keep talking. You're not gonna perceive me anymore. Or I could turn into a potato and you can't perceive me that way. Hold up. What if we do that? Where's my potato filter? Hold up. What if we just, for the rest of the stream, just gender? No. Potato? Yes. Thank you very much. You think I'm gonna get in trouble if I'm a potato for the rest of the stream? We're gonna keep it like this for a little bit, and if Sulky comes in and yells at me, we're gonna take it off. I don't think she's gonna care. We're just, what is my gender? Potato. Like, listen, it's just potato because no. Thank you for the offer. I like to think of myself as a void entity sometimes. Like, I feel like that's nice, and I feel like that's why I've kind of gone into the realm of agender, like not being connected at all, because I just don't want it. I just don't freaking want it. And I get that. I know someone who goes by they, it pronouns, but prefaces to people if they can get it, then they can use he, him. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Or excuse me, they not can. If they can't get it, then if they can get it. Oh, my brain is so difficult right now. I know someone who goes by they, it pronouns, but prefaces to people if they can get it, they can't use he, him. Is that the way that was supposed to be read? Yeah, like if they can get any other kind of pronoun, like they don't have to sit there and like, cause like, especially like my thing, like it's not that hard to learn. Like that's my thing, I think. It's like, it's not that difficult to learn, Like, it's not that hard to learn someone's pronouns. And I'm just like, if you can remember their name, like hold on, okay, here we go. Maybe this is a spicy thing. If you can remember someone getting married and changing their last name, then you can remember someone's pronouns and someone's chosen name. Like, it's not that hard. If you can understand the concept of people changing their last names when they get married or for whatever other reason, you can definitely remember pronouns and remember someone's name. It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry when it's like any other way. And I'm just like, y'all, it's not that hard. Thank you for trying to make it that hard. But like, it's the same exact heckin' concept. It's the same exact concept. Also, hi, welcome in. How are you, Bats? Oh my God. And it just stresses me out so badly. It stresses me out so badly. And Verva literally same to get together with changeling. Because that's how I understood my autism until recently. But unfortunately, it's an ableist concept. just the one I've related to since I was 7-year-old. And why not reclaim it to myself? I often felt like a changeling and I was only diagnosed a week ago. Oh my gosh. I'm glad that you got diagnosed though. Freaking like big hype for that because I know that's stressful. And I'm really happy for you because like that helps. Like even if you like had an inkling before, like just having that really like solidifies it in your mind, especially because like I am horrible with like imposter syndrome. Like I cannot tell you how long I was like, but am I really like non-binary? Like and things like that. Like, do I really have this mental illness? Am I really non-binary? Am I really asexual? Like, I have like the worst imposter syndrome. And so having that diagnosis, like, at least really helps my brain, or diagnosis for like mental illness, right? Like really helps my brain. And so I really hope that it's like made a positive impact, like just for you knowing, especially if you've got that like imposter syndrome. And so I'm really excited for you. That's freaking amazing. And I'm really happy. I'm really excited. I'm sending you so many heckin' good vibes. Yeah, we're just potato over gender. Potato over gender. We're just potot. We're just potot. Oh, gender void is an actual label. All right, I'm gonna go look at that micro label later. Then I'm gonna go look at that label later because now I'm curious because I've been labeling myself as a gender recently, non-binary because I like that overarching term. I like that overarching term, but now I'm gonna go look into gender void. So thank you for that. Also, Huffle, how are you doing? I hope that everything's going well for you. And I get that. I know someone who goes by they, it pronouns, thank you. But prefaces to people, if they can't get it, then they can use he, him. Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of been my thing too, where I'm just like, like if I couldn't imagine just going to ZZ or like I couldn't imagine just going to neopronouns in a corporate setting. I work as a healthcare programmer in a very corporate office, kind of things like that. Thankfully work from home. But like I couldn't imagine like trying to switch to neopronouns, especially when like people already kind of suck at getting like they them correctly. Especially when people are already really difficult, like really, really bad. And I preface by cis people, really, really bad at getting they them. Like the idea of like only using neopronouns in a corporate setting is just so stressful. And I feel like for a lot of us, like folks who use multiple sets of pronouns, I wish I could take a poll on it. I wish I could take a poll on it because I wonder how many people primarily keep she, her, or he, him just because it's easier for other people and not because they actually like those pronouns. And taking that further, even seeing people who use things like neopronouns plus they them. So I know a couple people who use zir and also they them, or fey fair and they them, things like that. I wonder how many people keep the they them on there with the neopronoun because people cannot get the neopronoun correct, And I wish I could take a really statistical poll about that, because I bet you it's more than we think. I betcha it's a lot of people, because like that's just a big thing, because people people are just so bad at like learning them and like using them. And the thing is, I know that it's difficult, right? Like neopronouns can sometimes be very difficult to get right, especially if you don't like hear them a lot, and because there aren't like a whole bunch of resources on them. But like I feel like a lot of people don't even try, and that's the issue too. Yeah, we're all just potato. Look, okay, hold up. Also, I could move my pecs. I know that that's not pertinent to our conversation about pronouns that we're having right now, but like I can wiggle these. And I think that's very important to know. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. All right, hold on. Everyone hydrate, because it's been a bit and I need to hydrate. You couldn't see it, but a potato just drank coffee. And so now I'm a fueled potato. Yeah, it's like you've been using pronouns your whole life already. Exactly, so why not just learn a couple more? Like, how can you get she, her, and he, him, but you can't get any other pronoun? Like, it's just repetition is the thing. It's just continually hearing it and seeing it and writing it and using it, and then it'll eventually stick. And it will eventually stick, because how did you learn she, her, and he, him pronouns and all their usages? You heard them, you wrote them down, you understood. Like, it's repetition. It's repetition. And it's just so stressful, right? No talk about potato, just Angie. We're just Angie, right? No one gets mad when Bobby wants to start being called Bob, yet so many can't handle Michael to Sarah, right? Exactly. And it's like the concept isn't difficult, you're just transphobic. Like, that is literally the tea. It's not, it's like the same concept. You're just being transphobic. And I feel like a lot of people don't like that take. Like, a lot of cis people do not appreciate that because they don't want to be called out when that's literally what it is, right? Like, it's literally what it is. Yeah, me before diagnosis, what the heck is wrong with me? Me after diagnosis, what the heck is wrong with the world? What a mood. It explains everything I struggle with so much. And it's a relief to not think of myself as failing, but different. Yeah, I medically gaslight myself all the time. Yup. And I think it's also largely related to my trans and gender experience too. Yes. Okay. Actually, there's actually a lot of statistical, or excuse me now. There's a lot of research papers. There's a lot of research papers talking about the intersectionality between being autistic as well as being like transgender, non-conforming, non-binary, and things like that. There's a lot of articles about it. Like it's huge. It's it's a big thing. It's they're very linked, my friend. Like they're very linked, and I need to do more learning about it. But I definitely went on a deep dive one day because I was curious. Because we wrote a bit about intersecting identities. At my work for Trans Day of Visibility last year, and like that was one of the pieces that we wrote because it is a huge thing. A lot of autistic folks are gender non-conforming, trans, non-binary, etc. Like a lot of them are. So yeah, my she/her pronouns also jumped out the window with my gender. Yep, just like yeeted themselves out there, and I love it. Yeah, and I love learning about people's gender identities and journeys. Right, me too, because like it's really lovely to see, especially because like I feel like a lot of the media that kind of gets pushed is like in a I always knew kind of way, right? I feel like a lot of the times I very much see like people who are just like, yeah, like I knew from a very young age. I knew like I've known from a very young age. And I'm just like, I didn't. And like I think that's where a lot of my anxiety and stress and like imposter syndrome came out, especially being non-binary, where I was just like, I didn't always know. And I felt very weird for a very long time because I was like, should I have known? Like, was I supposed to know? Am I actually trans? Because I had no idea. I lived very comfortably as a woman for years, like for a very long time until my young adulthood. And it just ooh. And so I really enjoy like hearing everyone's experiences, specifically because of that. Because like I don't know, like it was really difficult trying to figure out if I was like non-binary or trans or not, because I was just like I didn't always know. Like I didn't always know, and like I always just only heard of people knowing from a young age. And so when the panini happened and I started to figure things out, I was like, am I just lying to myself? Which is so bad. That's such a bad like brain thing to have, but RIP my brain. And I was just like, am I lying to myself for the attention? And it was horrible for my brain to like disentangle. Oh yeah, we could make a poll in here. We could make a poll in here about that. Here, I'm gonna do that here in a second. Yeah, right. I've met so many people that are she, they, or he, they to make other people's life easier. Yup. So the neopronoun thing has got to be a similar thing, I'd imagine. Exactly. Yeah, and it's just so unfortunate and so stressful, which is why I've really appreciated like the online spaces that I'm in, because they're great. They're great. They understand. They get my pronouns right, the ones that I actually want correct. And it's just, it makes a world of difference. Like it seriously makes a world of a difference, and you can tell. And right, constantly adjusting how we exist in the world to make others comfortable, right? And also for our own safety. Cause like I can't tell you how many times. Okay, hold on. We're gonna go story time real quick just for a second, then I promise I'll catch up. But like there was so I started at my job using she/her pronouns, identifying as a woman, and it wasn't until a year and a half later, to where I finally started figuring out that I was not a she/her. Like I was not a she/her. And so like for people that worked with me from a very young age, like not a very young age, for a very young career, from the get-go of my career, like who only knew me as she/her, it was a little difficult for them to like get they them or he him correct, because it was just like so ingrained in their brain, which isn't an excuse, but like explains a little bit of why like they like would slip up a lot of the times. And there was one time there was one time where this person I worked closely with, like from the beginning of of me getting a job at this place, like using she/her pronouns, there was one time where she like kept saying she/her for me. in a meeting with other people, and I ended up reaching out to her afterwards, and I was like, "Hey, just a quick reminder that I don't use she/her pronouns anymore. I know it's a little difficult because like I started like working with you from day one at the company when I was using she/her pronouns, but I only use they, them, and he/him now. Like just a quick reminder." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like I understand. Like." I live in California, so I know a lot of trans people, like, and I know a lot of folks who use they them pronouns. And you know what happened in the meeting? Like half an hour after I messaged her, I got she heard by the same person, and I was like, "Babes, excuse me." And it was the funniest thing, and I was like, friend. I was like, dang, like I didn't have hope because she misgendered me a lot, but like I was like, not that, not that. It was so funny. Oh my god, I like cried laughing afterwards because I was like, well, screw me, I guess. Yeah, it was literally like she lived in California, knew a whole bunch of gender diverse people, and I was like, wow. Wow. Right. I know so many trans people. Yeah, the transphobic. I live in Cali, right? I get so many teachers that are like, sorry I called you he, my man. And it's just like, I'm what? What? Like, excuse me? Like, take that. Like, you don't have to add the my man afterwards. Yeah, giving very much. I'm not racist. My friends are black energy. Yep. Ooh, RIP that. Right, dude, I've got to apologize for misgendering you. Thanks, man. Yeah. And it's just like, well, that's fine. Or like literally being in a meeting and like flagging that you don't use she/her pronouns, and then immediately in a follow-up email getting she/her pronouns. And I'm just like, well, dang, everything's, just like it's that dog meme where it's like on fire and you're like, everything's fine. When obviously it's not fine, but like you're just like, what can you do? Like, what can we do? All right, let me scroll because I missed so much because story time. I got to experiment with fair pronouns for our one shot and liked it, but don't know if the world is ready. Umi, I'm here to support you no matter what. If you want fair pronouns, let me know. Even if it's like just in the DMs, I got you. I got you. But if you're also gonna wait, that's valid too, because be comfortable. Be comfortable in your identity. I'm very excited for you no matter what. Right? I didn't know about neopronouns until later. I was like, this is neat. Then went to learn all about it, right? And like I feel like neopronouns have actually existed for a very long time is the fun thing. Hold on, I literally did so much research on this because I had someone in my community ask me to talk about neopronouns. And so I literally did a deep dive finding things. So here we go. The history. We're going to story time again. So pronouns. Okay, so for a baseline, neopronouns are pronouns that are not explicitly linked to gender identity. Like explicitly linked to gender. So they provide options for folks to reflect their gender identity better than they, he or she can, because some people just aren't comfortable with those pronouns because they're not the pronouns that they want to use, right? And so I did a deep dive in figuring out when the history of neopronouns, and it's really cool. So the neopronoun thon, THON, was introduced as a gender-neutral pronoun back in 1858. They've been around probably before that too, but the first one that was documented was 1858. It was added to the Merriam-Webster dictionary in 1934, but it was removed in 1961 for some reason. And then in 1911, an insurance broker named Fred Pond invented the pronoun sent he, apostrophe er, hair, his air, and him air. And it was proposed for adoption by the Chicago public school system in 1912. And from there, HEER, hair, was added to the Funk and Wagnalls dictionary in 1913. The Sacramento Bee actually used gender-neutral HIR here for 25 years between the 1920s to 1940s. In 1970, The Mary Orovin, excuse me, not the Mary Orovin. Mary Orovin invented the pronoun co-self, which gained use in a cooperative community in Virginia called the Twin Oaks Community, and it was in use until, or excuse me, it was in use as of 2011. So that's been around for a very long time too. And in 1966, Kate Bornstein actually used the pronoun Z here, Z-E, and then H-I-R, Z here, to refer to a character in their novel called Nearly Roadkill in 1996. And then from there, the term neopronoun, like the actual term of neopronoun, emerged in the 2010s, the 2010s. And then the Oxford English Dictionary added an entry for Z, the pronoun Z, Z-E, the neopronoun Z, in 2018, as well as entries for HIR here and ZIR, Z-I-R, in 2019. So neopronouns have actually been around since the 1850s, probably even before then, but maybe just not documented, but literally since the 1850s. So like they're nothing new. They're nothing new. Like it's amazing how long they've been around and like just not having a term for them, you know? And so it's so cool. Oh, it's so cool, right? I love Thawne. I was like, Thawne's a good one. Like, I'm sure that there's a site somewhere that has information on how to use those somewhere, right? Right? Like, I literally like did a deep dive because like someone asked, and I was like, well, I actually didn't know like where they came from. And so I wrote everything down because RIP my brain. If I read something, I'm not going to automatically remember it. So I literally like created a document where I could like type all this kind of stuff in because I was like, I'm not going to remember, but this is important information. And so I've got all that. But yeah, like it's really cool how long neopronouns have actually been around, just maybe not with the term neopronoun, but they've literally been around. Like gender diverse folks and gender non-conforming folks have been around for so freaking long, for so long. And it's just, you know, like we're not new. We're not new. And so people can't even like attempt to say that we're new. It's just that people are getting more comfortable in talking about it and like being open about it. And that's really cool. I think it's really cool. Also, everyone hydrate. You can't see my cup, but everyone hydrate. My coffee is very cold now, which is fine, but it's very cold. Oh my God, dude, bruh, man. Yeah, also like, I cannot tell you like how many people still argue that dude is a gender neutral term. Like so many people still argue that dude is a gender neutral term. And I'm just like, friend, it's not, because like imagine being like, well, how many dudes have you actually I don't know if I could say this is PG-13. This is PG-13. How many dudes have you done diddly deed with? And you know, people get really like real quick, real specific about them. They're like, you know? And so like it just, dude's not a gender neutral term. Like some people are comfortable being called dude, but not everyone is. So it's really important to ask. And I think that's the same. Like it's PG-13. I couldn't say the like, diddly deed. Diddly deedy do. Sulky, if you're in here, I'm so sorry. It's PG-13. But like so many people like don't understand. The diddly dee. So many people don't understand. Like, and that's the thing. Like that's the thing with any gendered term, right? With dude, with like oh, thank you. I actually really needed that posture check. I am slumped over like a little gremlin, and I'm glad you can't see it. I'm glad you can't see it. Hold on, let me readjust. You can't see me because I'm a potato. But I love it. Okay. But like any gendered term, like even just like I know a lot of people like call people beautiful or like handsome or like dude or girly or babe and things like that. And I'm just like, not everyone is super comfy with terms that like society has baseline gendered, right? Like we've grown up knowing that these are gendered words. And so it's really important with any of those to get consent on like what people specifically want to be referred to as, right? And so like for me, dude is fine because I don't mind it, but like things like feminine terms like beautiful, or I don't even know what else is a feminine term. My brain just like stopped because I I am a potato. Or pretty or things like that. I just immediately, my brain is like, I hate those because they give me so much freaking dysphoria. And so, like, not everyone's like that. There are some non-binary folks who are very comfortable like hearing feminine terms, or like on the opposite end, some non-binary folks like are comfy hearing masculine terms, but like you've got to ask. You've got to ask, because a lot of people, like, when you do them, it's sometimes really uncomfortable to sit there and call it out and be like, actually, like, I don't like that. Like, because you never know. Like, the same thing with dude, where it's just like people get defensive and they're like, oh, but I use it in this kind of way. And it's just like, I don't care how you use it. What matters is my feeling towards it. And my feelings is that I want to cry when I hear it, and I don't like it. And I don't like it, but thank you. Like, oh! And it's so stressful, especially because, like, I don't know, like, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of things that are very dysphoric, and like language is one of those things where we can easily change it, is a thing. Like, language is one of those things where if someone says, oh, I don't like being called dude, you can just immediately change it and you're fine. And it's fine, yeah, intention versus impact, exactly. And I feel like a lot of people don't like thinking about that. I feel like a lot of people don't like thinking about that because they only see what they perceive the word to be in their mind, and not how others perceive them. And that is the issue. And that is the issue. Yeah. Yeah, pretty. Yeah, exactly. And Queen is one I can't stand for myself. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't like Queen either. I don't like Queen either for myself. I don't really like King or anything either. Like, I just don't like gender terms in general. I just want gender neutrality. I just want gender neutrality across the board, Yeah, ladylike. I hate the term ladylike. I just don't like it. I think even from like a young age, I didn't really like it either. Even when I did use she, her pronouns, I was like, I don't want to be ladylike. Like, why are you telling me to be ladylike? Screw that. Also, welcome and thank you for the follow. I'm just like, I don't want that. Stop it. And I saw something that was genderphobic, aka I don't like things that is gendered, like this boy pen and this girl pen. The fact that a whole bunch of companies, have you seen man wipes? Have you seen man wipes? Hold up. Like, the fact that a whole bunch of companies are like, this pen is for women and this pen is for men. And it's like, these are man wipes. Like, how is that different than just regular Kleenex? It's not. Why are you branding it as so? And I'm just like, it makes no sense. Like, do you feel more masculine getting these man wipes? Like, what? The dude wipes? Yeah. And I'm just like, why are you why are you doing this? Like, there is literally no reason. There is quite literally no reason to have the gendered things on like products like that. Especially on like inanimate objects like a freaking pen or like notebooks or Kleenex. I'm just like, that makes no sense. And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, okay. Nerdy likes king or liege. Okay. Got you. I got you. So we got you in here. Yeah. Literally just asking is the main key. Like, no matter what, even people who use she, her pronouns, or use he, him pronouns, they might specifically not like gender terms either. Like, the thing is, you never know. Like, and and you shouldn't just assume is the thing. Like, you never know what terms could make people uncomfortable, especially if they're very gendered terms too. And so just asking is really the main key, because you just never know. And so it's more important that the person you're talking to feels comfortable. And that way you can just adapt your language to what they specifically like. That's the most important thing. I hope that you're doing well, Seppi. How's everything going? Yeah, and just asking is key, exactly. And ladylike was such a thing growing up in a Filipino house. Oh God, I'm so sorry. That must have been so much fun. Oh my God, yeah. I don't think it was too big in the Chinese household. But granted, I don't really know much. My family wasn't around much. So maybe it was. Oh God, wore a lot of dresses at least, very, very much like dresses. The woman did all like the cooking and cleaning and stuff. Like, my grandma went ham. Like, she is very much the typical like Chinese housewife. Like, she does all the chores, she does all the cooking, she does all the cleaning. Like, that is her job, and it's so stressful, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not in that. Like, excuse me, get me away from this. Yeah, the dew wipes kills me. And the gendered body washes, right? I'm like, why is this for men? I'm just like, I like those smells too, so I'ma grab this for myself. Thank you very much. And like, depending on the day too, like, I'm just like, some days are fruity days for me. Sometimes I want my body wash to be pineapples. And the next day I might want it to smell like, I don't know, some woodsy smell. We're in some foresty smells. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. Like, it makes no sense that they're gendered, because it just kind of keeps driving like the masculinity versus femininity thing. And like, this is man, this is woman, these are man sense, these are woman sense. And I'm just like, we don't need that in our society. Like, can you stop, please? Like, just push them together. Whatever people like is what they like. Thank you. And just exactly stop. Just please stop. Because it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Oh my God. Yeah, and I think I'm genderphobic because of these things. I think that's fair. Yep. It's like I always say, non-binary people be out here. Why are we gendering things? Exactly. Like, fucking, like, non-binary, like, we freaking existed. Documented since 1858 for neopronouns, and like so much before then for just non-binary, gender non-conforming, and trans folks in general. Like, we've existed forever. And it's just so silly. Yeah, and the pink tax is real. Buy the stuff marketed to men. It's cheaper, honestly. Any like shaving razors, things like that. Everything is so much cheaper for men. Or like the quote unquote men. Like and I don't know why. It makes me so angry, because I'm like, it doesn't make sense. You're just really just trying to take our money because capitalism. And it's so stressful. Yeah, it's the most silliest pandering in the universe, and it makes no sense. And I just hate it. Oh, I just hate it. Right. Yeah, it opened my eyes when I discovered pronouns, right? Because a lot of people don't talk about them either, because there's automatically from baseline an assumption that, like, in at least a lot of schools, because they don't talk about it or whatever, and like your family, because if they don't talk about it or whatever, there's like very much just like a man and woman only, she, her, and he, him only. And you kind of grow up just thinking those two things, unless you specifically are in a household that is open to talking about those things, or miraculously find friends who are just open about talking about those things, whose parents kind of like talk to them about that kind of stuff. But in general, I feel like we don't find that often. At least I didn't. Granted, I also didn't grow in a great space, but like, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't happen often. And I'm really hopeful it becomes a bigger thing, and like parents like start teaching about these things from a very young age, because it just would make life so much easier. It would make life so much heckin' easier, right? And hopefully, because we exist. We're out here, we exist, and you're not gonna erase us. You're not gonna erase us, you know? Oh my God. And I have fairies on my wall. Hold up. I love that. That is so cute. And my grandma used to literally say anything wasn't very ladylike. Oh my God. That's hilarious. I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah. And the price difference for the products are just ridiculous. Yeah. Just like literally buy men's branded stuff. Like for literally everything. Quite literally. Like everything. And it's so ridiculous, because it's just like, why do we need this? It's just capitalism. I hate capitalism. Shiny, the idea of you being ladylike does not work in my brain at all. Yeah, at all. And it's just so funny. People are just so funny. And I use Guy body wash, quote unquote Guy body wash. Yeah, because it's cheaper, and I need more than flowers to maintain a non-sweaty scent if I'm working out. Exactly. And deodorant and stuff too. I'm just like, I'm gonna use this men's deodorant, dang, because you know what? It works better than the woman branded ones, because they've put more effort into it, because it's for men, And I'm just like, that is trash, and we're just gonna buy this men's deodorant then, right? And sometimes they smell way better too. Exactly. Like, and it's just like, it's the most ridiculous thing. It's the most ridiculous heckin' thing. Yeah, Dollar Shave Club, I've heard, is so good. Yes. And it tells me I'm handsome too. Oh my God. Is it really? I love that. That is so funny. I wish that they changed their branding in case a trans woman gets it and it's just like, I don't want to be called handsome. But like, Dollar Shave Club is lovely, because, they're nice razors. They're nice razors, And thankfully, my grandma is trying. I mean, heck, she's like 96. I think so. She's unlearning, 25 years of what she knew my life to be. Yeah, that's valid. Oh my gosh. Especially if they've known you forever. And especially because, like, the older generation sometimes isn't the best at learning. And so it's great that she's at least trying. Like, that's the thing that matters. That's the thing that matters. And right, I applaud the grandma for trying. It's a start. Yeah, I love it and it makes me happy, right? Like there was, I always say this, but like I feel like I've said this like a couple times at least on my streams. But my grandparents don't know that I'm trans, and my family didn't know that I was trans or non-binary until recently because my sister decided to out me to everyone, which kind of sucked. But like there was one time where I'm Chinese. My most of my family actually lives in Hong Kong, so I don't actually talk to them ever because I don't know Chinese, unfortunately. Because my mom never taught it to us because she didn't want us growing up with an accent or anything. Because racist people in the U.S. Um, and so my grandma and my grandpa, like know pretty broken English. My grandma is better at English than my grandpa is. My grandpa speaks pretty broken English, right? Um, and so there was one time where we were on the phone, and like again, he speaks very broken English. Still trying to learn, which he doesn't really like. It doesn't matter. Like he doesn't interact with a lot of Americans anyway, even though he lives here. And so it was fun because like I sent them a picture of myself because my grandma was like, "Oh, what do you look like now?" Because it's been like I don't know, a really long time, like years, like a good 6 or 7 years since I've seen her, and seen them. And I don't really go on Facebook. I don't really post that much. And so I sent them a picture because that was when I had my short hair and I looked similar. Here we go. I look like this, right? Like I look like this. I look very different than when I did whenever I last saw her because I had very long curly hair. I wore makeup. Like I looked like I played the part of a woman well because that's what I was taught to do. And so it was really funny because one time I was just on the phone with my grandpa after I sent them a photo of like this, no makeup, wearing like a baggy shirt, wearing like my hair is short now and it's like dyed and like lighter. And it was so sweet because he said specifically, "You look very handsome." And I like cried. And I know he didn't mean it. Like it's the thing because again, he speaks very broken English. Like I know he didn't mean it in a like in that way. Like he probably meant like you look really nice, you look really beautiful, whatever. Cause like I don't know if like I actually don't know if the Chinese language has like gendered terms like that, or if like he grasps the difference between like beautiful versus handsome. Like he just knows that like it means like you look nice. Like, like in his brain, it means you look nice. And he probably doesn't understand like the difference between the gendered and like how we have it in our Americanized society, right? And so it was really sweet because it was at a point where I was like still trying to figure myself out. And I very much identified as trans masculine whenever I talked to him at that point, like with he, they pronouns specifically. And so it was really, really sweet. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get that again from him because they're never going to know. Because like I don't know if it's safe to let them know. And so it was just really sweet. And I'm just like, that is like the one thing that like that just sticks out. Like I don't speak to them often, but it's like the one thing that sticks out in my brain. And so it's just very sweet. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I think he meant it. That's the headcanon my brain wants to go in, but I know he probably didn't. But like, it was sweet nonetheless. It was really sweet nonetheless. Oh, and I started to tell my teachers about a small business that's mine for 50 cents for each little bracelet and ring. Also, my cousin is saying she'll tell my grandma that I'm bi. Oh, God. See, and that's what stresses me out. So my sister found my Twitter, which I knew like probably would happen at some point because a lot of her friends are on the online spaces. Like some of her friends stream and stuff like that. Hold on. Everyone hydrate real quick before story time. Oh, a little more because this is freezing now. But it's still very good. It's a peppermint mocha coffee. But like I think that a lot of siblings have your best intentions in mind, right? Especially if like they care about you, like they have your best intentions in mind. But if they're not in the LGBTQIA plus community, if they're not queer, if they're not trans, like specifically if they're not trans either, um, they don't understand the implications of like being out to people, you know? And it's really hard for them to grasp because to them, at least for my sister, like she always has had the mindset of like, you know, like who cares if they don't understand? Like she's always kind of been that way where she's just like, I'm just going to tell everyone because who cares if they don't understand? I'm happy, you know, I'm going to be happy in my like I'm going to be happy how I am and I don't care what anyone else thinks about it. Like she's very much firm and aggressive in that, and aggressive isn't the right word. Like she's very firm in that mindset, right? But she is cis het. She's cis het and abled. She's cis het abled. Um and so, like, I think that, like, a lot of siblings who, like, at least in this case, like, she found my Twitter, she saw that I'm trans, she, like, reached out and was like, hey, like, I'm supportive of you no matter what. Very sweet, very sweet. I cried for like days because I was always very scared because she's not always been the kindest person. And so, like, she decided to tell my entire family because, again, in her brain, she wanted me to be happy. She wanted me to like be who I was. Thank you for the hydrate. Hold up. Like she wanted me to be happy. She wanted me to be comfortable in the family situation and things like that, right? And so she went off without even asking and like went off and like told my mom, my father, my siblings, like everyone else. And I was just and it was really it was a lot cuz like I recently went to visit them because my dad had a whole bunch of medical stuff going on and it was a just in case if anything happens, like last time to see him, all that lovely stuff. And it was so funny because like I landed and they and we just were sitting around the table and like they just kind of like all looked at me and they were like, so it's Tofi. And I was like, who told you that I'm Tofi? Because the thing is, my Tofi space is mine. Like, it's very much my own space where I can be who I want to be without fear. You know, I can be in my identity without fear, anything. But she told them all, and it was a very like it was nice because I'm glad that she like was like, okay, like I appreciate you, and I like obviously not understand because she didn't understand the implications of that, right? But like very much was in a like a mindset of I think this is going to be good for you so you're happy like without thinking through it. And so the whole like it was so funny. Like fun is not the right word, but the whole time I was there I kept getting Tofi with she her pronouns, like literally the entire time. It was just like Tofi, like she, Tofi, she, and I was just I was like, you like at least tell them like my chosen name, at least call me Ollie or something because my chosen name's Oliver. And I was like, you could have at least given them like my non-screen name. Like you could have given them anything else besides my nickname because like now all I hear when I hear Tofi is misgendering. Like my brain is just like so stuck on that. Have a great look. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. It was so good to see you. And so now all I hear with Tofi is like constant she hers. I'm just like, oh, and I'm just like I actually considered rebranding because of it because like my brain is just like so like stuck on that dysphoria with this name now. And I'm trying to get past that, but it's just like I feel like a lot of siblings who have your best intentions in mind, especially if they're not queer, especially if they're not trans, like they just don't understand because they don't experience it, right? And so it's just been fun. Yeah, good intentions but not so good execution. I like exactly. Good intentions, which I appreciate because like I never came out to my family because very military family, they were not very kind growing up and so I figured it was going to be very dangerous for me to tell them, right? Like I've always kind of had that assumption that it was going to be a danger to me and my life to let them know. And so I've always kind of kept that hidden. And so I was just like, I'm glad that you support me in that way, but you could have asked. You could have asked. And so as to say, if you're a sibling, don't out people. Don't out your sibling. Don't do it, friends, because that's horrible. Yeah, right? Wish you could trade them out sometimes. Exactly. Like, can I trade them out for cats? Like, can we give them cats? Can we make them cats instead so they can't talk? That'd be quite cute. That'd be quite cute. And so it's gonna be a long, fun journey because, like, they were never, like, to me, they were never gonna know. Like, I was gonna live happily with them never knowing. Granted, they probably would have figured it out once I start tea and like everything changes because like I was trying to figure out how that was gonna work for me. It was not gonna work well, I don't think. But like now I've got to go through the process of them to where beforehand I could have just gone through the process of when I started tea and like trying to come out to them to be like, hey, Ollie, they them pronouns, he him's fine too because I know y'all are not going to get they them because RIP cis people. But like now I've got to go through this entire process of trying to figure out how to tell them why they shouldn't use Tofi for me. And like it's going to be a lot more difficult to disentangle that now. Like it's going to be difficult to disentangle that cuz now in their brains I'm Tofi with a she her, right? Like cuz they're halfway trying, not doing a great job, but like at least like attempting. And so I'm just like we're going to have to like figure out how to put in all of that emotional work on my end now to like get them to switch to Oliver instead of Tofi when they're already trying for Tofi, and then trying to get them to use this different set of pronouns. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. My little brother is the ultimate frat bro, but always had my back and listened when I told him, nah, it's not worth it. Yep. And listens when I told him, nah, it's not worth it. Let's stay hush. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just like, we're just gonna, like, that's how I was gonna be too, where it's just like, we're gonna stay hush about it. Like, I don't ever see my family anyway. Like, I've never been super close with them or anything. And so I'm just like, I never see them anyway. So it was like, it wasn't going to come up. Like, I was like, it's never going to come up. It's come up. And I'm just like, oh, now we gotta do all this. And I don't even wanna do this, especially like as I'm continually still learning about myself. What if it changes? Like, what if I start using a different set of pronouns and now they've gotta relearn that and it's more difficult for me now? I don't know. It's just a tricky situation. It's just a stressful, tricky situation at this point. And my stomach would drop out of my butt in that situation. Yep, hearing someone who I don't fully consider safe, yep, use my authentic safe space nickname in real life would be so surreal and world shaking. Exactly. Especially when like I feel like it'd be different if they were able to get the right pronouns with my like with the Tofi name, like that at least would be a little different, because then I'd feel a little better about it. But like continually hearing like because Tofi would be mine. Tofi, actually, I love the name Tofi. It's like one of my favorite things, and I actually would make it my name if I thought people would actually like view it as an actual name. You know, but RIP our society and like me having to choose a different name because I don't think people are going to call me Tofi, which is why I went with Oliver because that's more of a human name. People view it as more of a human name, right? And so to me, Tofi is me. Like to me, Tofi is who I am, and like Oliver is just like the name I use for corporate stuff. Like it's just the name that I use for corporate stuff and like for IRL stuff because people are not going to view me as a Tofi. And so to me, Tofi is very much my persona, like who I am and like what my name is. And so I think it's a little different because of that. Because I'm just like, it's not even just like a screen name. Like that is just me. And so to hear that constant she, her with my name and what I have like deemed as my name is just a lot. It is very stressful. It's very stressful. Yeah, I didn't technically tell my parents until I was already on T. Yeah, I was going to be in the same boat where like I was not going to tell anyone. Like I was not going to tell anyone until I had started T and my voice had like would start dropping and I like started like actually physically seeing changes because like what are they going to do about it at that point? Like, what are they going to do about it at that point? Like, nothing. Guess what? Nothing. Because they can't, because it's my life. You know? It's my life, you know? And so, yeah. I have a confession to make. My parents met in the gym. I've got ultra jock jeans, and I'm a gamer. I love that for you. My little brother is actually like very into like weightlifting and all that, and my little sister actually also like exercises and takes care of herself. And it's funny because we got them two who are very much like health conscious. And then we've got me and my older brother who literally sit and play video games all day. Like, literally, both of us are like inside video gamers. And so we have this lovely little split. We've got this lovely little split between us two. Right? Never forget this about you. Right? Right? Yeah. Thank you, Bats. I appreciate it. It's going to be very fun. But I'm just like, at least it didn't go poorly. Like, I'm like, it could be better. It could be a lot better, but like at least I didn't get disowned, you know? Like, cause that was my fear. I was like, it's gonna be a bad time. So like at least it's a little better. Hi Bugs, how are you? Yeah, but it's just, it's gonna be a fun situation to sit there and explain to them. Cause I don't want to use that emotional effort to explain to them when like I don't know if they're fully gonna grasp it or fully gonna understand. Like, it's just a lot of emotional effort to put in. Like no matter how kind the other person is on the receiving end, like who you want to educate, it's a lot of work to put in. And like, I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll just link them. Maybe I'll just find a whole bunch of documents and just like forward them over. Like maybe that's the way I gotta go with this because I don't want to sit there and explain things. No. The more I get misgendered by my family, the more I want to come out to my parents because it's a lot. Yeah, and it really puts a damper on your mental health. At least for me it did. Like it really destroyed me and it's just like it's very stressful and it's just like a lot and it's just like it's hard enough to get people like you're surrounded with, like especially if you like work and things like that. It's hard enough to get people like to use the right pronouns for you. And so like just having your family also do it is very stressful, especially if you actually like your family too, right? Like especially if you're close to any of your family, like that makes it a little more difficult, but it's just like, oh, it's just so stressful, which is definitely why I've appreciated a lot of our online spaces, right? Because it's been really nice. Like the people I've met online are so much kinder and so much more open and so much more inclusive than I've pretty much ever met in spaces around me most of the time, you know? Because, like, we can curate our space that way. And that is the thing that I really like about online spaces is that, like, you can curate it. If someone's being a little booty head, you can block them and move on with your life. In real life, I gotta sit there and take it unless I want to get hate crimed, you know? Like, it's so much easier to curate your space online to make it feel comfortable, to surround yourself with folks that feel comfortable with you and your identity. And it makes me a lot happier to be in the online spaces because of that. I love that your name online is Tofu and your cat is Tofu. Actually, my name Tofillium came from my cat Tofu. The first time I ever played Dungeons and Dragons, first time ever. I'm really bad at names. I'm really bad at giving names to things. And so I was trying to find a name for my rock gnome cleric. And I was like, all right, what do I got? Tofu. I got my cat Tofu. And his screams are really high pitched, as if he like just like took a hit of helium, like just sucked in a big balloon of helium and like scream like, "Meow," like they're high pitched, like they're high pitched. And I was like, all right, Tofu, helium, tofilium. So that's how I got my name. That's literally how I got my name. It's from my cat. It's literally from Tofu, which I think is why I like it so much because Tofu is like my life. I just love him, and also Leonard. I love Leonard too. I got him after I got Tofu. Um, but yeah, like my nickname is literally because of Tofu. Yeah, and so I love it. And right, I like Tofi. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. But like I love Tofi. It's like I don't know, I just think it's a cute little nickname and I love it. And it's been my name for like I don't know, 3 or 4 years now, like quite a few years. And it like I had the name Tofi before I started coming out as well and before I started figuring out my identity. And so like Tofi's been with me through the stages of all of my identities. And it just and like it never felt wrong is the thing. Like my dead name felt wrong for a really long time. And Tofi's like Tofi hasn't, and I think that's why my brain is so drawn to it. Because especially with my chosen name too. Like I went back and forth between Max because I loved the name Max. I went back and forth between Max and Oliver for a really long time. Like literally like a whole year. Like I played D&D with a whole bunch of Max characters to see if it felt right. Same thing with Oliver. I played Olivers, so many Olivers in one shots to see what felt right. And like none of them like really stuck out to me, but Tofi, like, stuck. Tofi stuck, and I ended up just choosing Oliver because I liked it. Like, I liked it enough. Like, I liked it enough for people to call me it, and like, it was a name that people would use for me in the corporate setting, right? But like, Tofi just feels right. Tofi just feels right, you know. So I really appreciate y'all saying that that it's very you because it's my name, you know. It's my chosen name, but in corporate settings, Ollie's my chosen name, you know? Right? Me when I chose the letter E as a name, right? I love that. That makes me so happy. And like, I don't know, we're going to actually do a talk about chosen names in July. Because I don't know, like I feel like it's fun, like it's difficult and it's fun and it's like hard to find a name for yourself. And so we're actually going to do a talk in July with both Fox Prince as well as Hey Artie, who are part of the partner program because of Cosmic Hearts here on this channel. And so we're going to be doing a talk about chosen names and how games and Dungeons and Dragons and other things helped us find our chosen names. And so we're actually going to do a talk about that in July, which I'm very excited about. So yeah. Right? Also, I hope that you're doing well. Right? And I thought Topi was your name when I first internet met you. Good. Good. See, it's on in my internet spaces, it is my name. In my corporate spaces and my work spaces, it's not, unfortunately. But yeah, I really appreciate y'all. Right? And Tofi seems like a legitimate name to me, right? Like, and the thing is, like, names are so subjective is the thing. Like, our language is so subjective. And like, it's ridiculous what people have deemed what a correct professional name is or not. Because I'm just like, I can be called Mud. I can name myself Mud. And that is a name because I want that to be my name. Like, what is a name? Like, I don't even care. Like, names are so subjective. Like, it's just ridiculous that people try to gatekeep what name you want for yourself. And I hope that also goes away. I hope that also goes away because, like, literally words are subjective. Like, what is the human language? What is the English language? Like, no. We're Mud, you know? Like, I don't even care because it's my name and I like it. Yeah. Right? I don't want to educate anyone. Just YouTube it, please. Right? I'll see if I can find some good YouTube videos or like good resources because I'm just like, I don't want to like do all that explaining. And I operate from a place of I'm not explicitly telling anyone if they figure something that's on them. Yep, I have no energy to declare my identities. Exactly. Because I'm just like, I don't need to put out that emotional effort to explain it to someone when I'm already just trying to exist. When I'm already just trying to exist in this body that I hate. Right? Like, I'm not gonna sit there and try to explain it. Like, good for you if you want to learn. But, like, Google. Google's free. Google's free. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, misgendering is so much. It's kind of like they're talking to someone above your head and it feels like you're a bit invisible. Yeah, right. Like every time someone like misgenders me in a meeting, like it's gotten to the point where like my online spaces are like so good. And all my like friends are so good at getting my pronouns right because they're fantastic. To where like only IRL people at my job misgender me. And so like it's so funny because like every once in a while they'll use she, her like in a meeting for me and like just expect me to like answer because they're like trying to talk to me and it just goes over my brain because and like I don't answer because I'm like I'm not the she, her they're talking about. I'm like, who is this she, her that they're referring to? Because it's not me. And it's so funny because they'll say my name, which is my dead name, at my work. Like they say my dead name. And for a second also, it goes over my head because I'm like, that's not me. Like, obviously that's not me. I'm Ollie. Like I'm Ollie at work. And it's just like, it just goes over my head. And I'm just like, oh no, they're talking to me. And like, it's so funny because like every once in a while, there'll just be like an awkward pause. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Like, there'll just be like a very awkward pause. And I'm just like, oh, okay, then I'll like unmute and start talking. Cause it just, because I'm just like that, like the person that they're talking about and trying to talk to is like, I just feel very other from that person that work knows me as. Like, I just feel like a very different person because I am a different person and they don't understand that, you know? And yeah, I feel you. My Korean mom couldn't understand that I actually didn't eat meat when I was vegetarian. So I just don't have the energy to try to get her to understand that I'm queer. Yeah. And it's like very funny because it's just like, if they can't understand something as simple also as like being a vegetarian, how are they going to understand also the very simple thing of being queer? Like, and I just, oh, and you don't need to try to go through that emotional effort if you don't want to, because guess what? Like, that is your identity and your energy that you're gonna have to put out there, and it just might become more frustrating to like try to explain things, it's just, oh, it's so stressful, right? The D&D lore with Tofi, right? Like, I just, I just love it. And your laugh is incredible, by the way. Oh, I would listen to your voice acting 5 ever. That's really sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wish I could get into voice acting because it seems like fun, but I just don't know how to do that. I just don't know how to do that. And I wish I did because I think it'd be so freaking cool, right? Right? And yeah, thank you. I appreciate y'all very much. And yeah, it's just serotonin giving laugh. Thank you. I appreciate it. I wonder if I could, what if I made a sound alert on this channel and it's just me laughing? How funny would that be? People would just be like, what the absolute heck is that? Like, who is this person laughing at us? Yeah, and I love how D&D lets us explore what feels right. Exactly. Like, I played a non-binary character. Their name was Budge. Their name was Bug because their child, like their sibling named them Bug. But their name was Budge. And I played the non-binary character Budge, who used only they, them pronouns, I think 2 years. Maybe it was a year. Maybe it was only a year, but it was like between a year and 2 years before I started figuring out my identity. And like, actually, the reason I probably didn't figure it out sooner, because I felt very comfortable playing this non-binary character, and that should have been a hint for me. But like, I think a part of the reason that I didn't figure it out sooner, because I like had I feel like I started my journey there when I made a non-binary character, but the DM turned my character into the big bad and like villain, like, and my non-binary character ended up being a villain, and that like scarred me because I was like the first non-binary character that I play literally turned, like, they took them over and turned them into the big bad that wanted to kill everyone and like kill all of my friends, and it was horrible. And I didn't play a non-binary character. I literally only played she, her characters in that campaign from then on because it scarred me so much that I was like, my non-binary character just turned into the big bad and they're destroying everyone and they're wanting to kill everyone, and I had so much trauma from that. I had so much trauma from that because I was like, am I the big bad of my life? And I just, for another year and a half, didn't figure out my identity. For another year and a half, just played she, her characters and didn't even think, because I was like, I can't be a they, them, because look what happens. And it was horrible. Like, it was so scarring. It was so bad. Oh my God, it was horrible. Oh, but yeah, D&D is like my favorite thing because because you can play literally anything that you want. It's a great way to figure out names. Like, it's a great way to figure out chosen names, nicknames that you just want. It's a great way to figure out pronouns, identity, queer identity. Like, it is fantastic for that because like you're role playing this character and like a lot of energy and love and time goes into them, right? And it's just, I really love D&D for that reason. And even like any like games like Stardew Valley or something where you can have queer relationships and you can like name your character the way that you want it to be named, like you want them to be named and things like that. And it makes a world of difference. And it's a nice way to explore things. It's a nice way to explore things. And Taz goes, I've been trying to figure out a name for 5 years. I feel like I can't come out until I have a name chosen, which kind of sucks. You know what? I feel like I felt like that for a very long time too. Because like, I was like, I don't know what to call myself in like these like in these like corporate settings. Like, I was like, I have no idea, because a lot of people like the thing is, everyone goes through a different identity. Like, everyone's identity is different. Some folks, some non-binary, trans, gender non-conforming folks are comfortable with the name that they have had since birth, you know? Some people are, and that's very valid, and some people aren't, and that's also very valid. And I feel like I also had this thing where I was like, if I am coming out with like a whole bunch of different pronouns, like I don't know if I can keep this dead name. Like my current dead name. I was like, I don't know if I can keep this current dead name, especially if your name is a very gendered name. You know, especially if your name is something like Brittany or something that we as society has deemed a woman's name, or something like John, which we have as society, unfortunately, have like deemed a man's name, you know? And it's very stressful in that because then, like, even just hearing someone's name, people already think, oh, that's got to be a woman. Look at that name. And it's very stressful to like also disentangle that and trying to figure out that with your identity. Oh, it's just so stressful. Yeah, they were like a McKinley. McKinley is a quote unquote female name. Yep. I'm like, last I checked, it could be whatever the person wants. Exactly. And it's so stressful because I'm like, society just deems proper names as like whatever they want to, and I'm just like, it makes no sense because like there's no such thing as a proper name. Like, just let people name themselves whatever the heck they want to because it's them, it's their identity, it's their name. Like, why does it matter to you? Just learn the name and move on, my friends. Just learn the name and move on. Look how easy that is. And right, I had that talk with the parent. Yeah. I really do hope gatekeepers go away too, because it makes no sense and it's so stressful, right? We're mud. Honestly, I can't tell you how many people I've seen on the TikTok who have like names like Moss or Mud or things like that. And I'm just like, I love this for you because you are just like, screw society. And it makes me very happy because we need that. I want more of that, except in a broader sphere across all of America and across all of society, because it doesn't matter. It's their name. Why do you care? You know? I knew someone in college whose birth name was Blade ever since I met him. Right? Heck, what society deems a proper name. Exactly. I love that. That makes me so incredibly happy because like anyone can name anyone. Like you could just be literally whatever you want as long as it's not an offensive term. Let's put that out there. As long as it's not an offensive term, you can like literally be whatever name you want to be. And Blade's a cool name, right? I just love it, right? I mean, let's be honest, there have definitely been some creative names out there, and especially like seeing how people like spell names too. I'm like, if people can just like add a random H in there for no reason, like why can't I call myself Moss or Mud? You know, it's fine. It's fine. People can't even get my actual heckin' name right, and it's a quote unquote real name that it's just a slightly, it's just a slight variation of a name people are used to. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh. So a name's a name. Everyone should just use the name that they want regardless. Exactly. Like, and it doesn't matter. It's just like learning someone's like, if they change their last name, again, it's back to that. Like if you can learn someone's like whenever they change their last name because they get married or whatever, you can learn someone's name. It's not that hard. Like, it's not that hard, friends. It's not that hard, right? Oh my God, that's really sweet. Thank you. It'd be amazing with voice acting. I appreciate it. I want to get into voice acting too. They really don't like USB mics though. Good to know. I didn't know that. Dang. Okay. I feel like it'd be very fun to learn. I feel like it'd be very fun to learn. Give yourself a laugh track. See, I'm gonna have to do that, and I might just have to have a button for the streams that I'm specifically on here that like clicks it, and I just like laugh for 5 minutes straight, and it's gonna be so confusing to everyone else who wasn't here for this conversation. That wasn't here for this conversation. Oh, and I love that. Yeah, I actually found out that I have a soy allergy. Oh, almost 10 years ago, and my mom was still trying to serve me tofu. So yeah, she ain't gonna understand my queerness. Yeah, like they forget little things like that. Like if she forgets little things like that, ooh, having to explain queer identity is gonna be a lot. Oh my God. And yeah, it was a horrible time, that campaign with my poor sweet non-binary character turning into the big bad. But we left that quickly after. Like it was horrible. The DM targeted me for like everything. Like literally I made 4 or 5 different characters because she killed me. She killed every single one of my characters. Except for my non-binary character. She took over my non-binary character, made them the big bad, and tried to kill everyone else. But like she killed every single one of my characters that I made except the non-binary character, and that was really rude and gross, and I left soon after because it was horrible. It was horrible. And right, Stardew helped me realize I was bi. Yeah, same. Stardew Valley helped me realize my queerness because I was like, Abigail. I was from the get-go, I was like, Abigail. Like literally, I just love Abigail so much. All the other characters are great too, but like I was just so obsessed and like drawn to Abigail because the funky hair. Like my hair's actually not like dyed a fun color, but like I literally like dye my hair different colors because I love it. And so like and so it was just so fun because I just loved the purple hair. I love that she liked gems and amethyst. And I love that she just like really loved sword fighting and wanted to like do like and wanted to learn how to fight and stuff. I was like, oh, I love this, and I just, I was like, yeah, I'm not straight. I was like, I'm very queer. And that's why I really like games like that. And I hope that there are more queer specific games coming out like that because like it really makes a huge difference. And I think that's why like The Sims with their new pronouns update is so freaking phenomenally important because like a whole bunch of people use Sims to like figure out their identities too. And like especially because like The Sims has always really had a really large LGBTQIA plus base. I don't play The Sims because there's too much going on and my brain can't handle it. But like I know that a lot of people love The Sims because they get to explore their identities, because they get to explore their queerness. And the pronouns updates is going to be huge for that. Like being able to make a character that's supposed to represent yourself and being able to add in customized pronouns to that is going to help so many young like non-binary folks and trans folks and queer folks, and it's just and not even young folks too, just like people in general who play The Sims are going to have the ability to like learn more about themselves and like experiment with different things to see what pronouns they like for themselves. And like I'm so excited about it, and I just want more games to do stuff like that. I really want more games to do more stuff like that because it's so phenomenally important. It's so phenomenally important. Yeah, and BioWare games, mostly Dragon Age, helped me realize I'm bi. I heard so much about Dragon Age 2 being a really big queer awakening for folks as well, which I love. Dragon Age is also a game that I've never personally played, but I watch people play, and I've just heard so many good things about it because of that, and it makes me so happy. Because obviously it makes a huge difference for folks. Like, obviously it makes a huge difference. And I just want more games like that. I want more games like that for us, because it's so important. And right, someone was here playing it. I had a moment. Here I am. I love that. Oh my God. Right? Dragon Age was for me too. I was romancing everyone. I love that. Oh my God. See, and that's why, like, I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like especially when we try to push for inclusivity and representation in games, like I feel like a lot of people always have the thing of where like, oh, why does it matter? Like it's just a game, like, like, and like things like this, like conversations like this, and so many people being like, oh yeah, this game helped me for this reason. Like, is why it's so important, is why it's so incredibly important. Because like, how long would it have taken you to realize if you didn't have these games? Slash, would you ever have realized if you didn't have these games? Especially for folks who don't have like queer communities around them or queer friends or anyone in the LGBTQIA plus community around them. Would you ever have known? And that's why, God, that's why like I just want more games for us to do this, which is why I'm really excited about Coral Island. Because Coral Island is like Stardew Valley, except you can use non-binary. You can create a non-binary character, which makes me really happy, and I'm very excited about it because I want to play a non-binary farmer. I just want to play a non-binary farmer. Ah! Before I knew I didn't want kids, I was set on naming my potential child Song because I wanted them to have a lovely special name that isn't explicitly tied to socially perceived gender. Yeah, I love that. I feel like whenever I was like I know that there are a couple names that like both men and women use. I'm gonna use those in air quotes because RIP society, but like I know that there's a couple names that like people hear and they're like they don't know because like both men and also women use them. Alex is one of those, right? Alex is a huge name where people like just don't know because like there are Alexanders and Alexandras and things like that. And I feel like whenever I was gender fluid, I was trying to think through a name, God, like a year ago or whatever. And I was kind of leaning towards Alex for that reason because I was like, it's not like explicitly like perceived as a specific gender because a whole bunch of people use it with a whole bunch of identities use it. And so like people wouldn't know if I used that name, you know? Now it's not so much because I don't want to have a name that could be perceived as feminine, since I am non-binary and nowhere near feminine. But but back when I was back when I did use all pronouns and was like comfortable in my fluidity, um like I was trying to find like a non-specific name, a non-gender specific name to use because it makes a huge difference. Like it makes a huge difference for especially when you're first saying your name to folks who don't know your pronouns, right? So, oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, I talked to a couple of people in the campaign afterwards, because I was like, was it just me like perceiving that in a very bad way? And they all were like, yeah, they really picked on you. Like she really picked on you, Tofi. And I was like, all right, good to know that I'm not overreacting. And all of us left. Like all of us left because it was so bad. Right? It was just very deeply personal. I know it was so stressful, especially because like not to go off the rails about this D&D campaign, but like there were definitely a couple of times like they played favorites to where like there was definitely a couple of times one of my friends, because I played with two friends, one of my friends would like step in front of my character, like literally to block my character from taking damage because like he saw that I was getting picked on, and the DM would like literally go out of her way to like step around them, take any sort of reaction damage in order to get to my character. Like literally, like it was so like obvious and so stressful. It was a lot, and I know I never knew what I did to deserve it. But you know, sometimes you don't do anything to deserve it. People are just rude. See, sometimes people are just very rude. Mine wasn't Abigail, but yes, purple hair is great as well. I love Abigail, and I love the purple hair and like the sword fighting. One day purple will reign supreme in my life. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what to dye my hair next. Because this is the longest I've actually had my hair, like, not dyed. It's been a good, like, 6 months or something. Because, like, I usually have it, like, dyed a funky color because it just makes me happy and, like, makes me feel very gender, you know? But I haven't had the spoons to dye it lately, and I kind of want to go like a split dye like Momo Misfortune has, because like to me they are very gender in my brain. And I just really like their aesthetic, and I want that kind of like split dye. But like with curly hair, and the thing is my hair never sets the same way twice, and so like even like splitting it down the middle and dyeing, it's just gonna be a mess, I think. Especially because sometimes it doesn't lay like this, sometimes it lays swooped over to the side. Like you know, I just don't know if it's gonna look okay. But like I definitely was purple for a really long time. Red is one of my favorites. I was red for a very long time, and I did blue for a really long time as well. And I'm like debating on what color to do next because I feel like it'd be really fun to do a split dye. I just don't know what. I just don't know what to do yet. But eventually, so if y'all have any ideas, let me know. Heck yeah. Oh, have a great D&D, Moon Elf. It was great to see you, and I hope that your session goes really lovely. Yeah, the indecisiveness I experience in Stardew definitely validates my bisexuality. I love that for you. See, in the longest time, like, I feel like I always, like, gravitated to the like more femme characters in Stardew Valley. And so like I'm trying to disentangle that in my life because I don't know where I stand. I don't know where I stand. All I know is that I'm queer, and I don't know what queerness yet, but like I am queer in some way, and it makes it difficult as someone who is asexual also. And I think maybe also I'm trying to figure out if I'm some sort of like aromantic too. It's just been fun figuring out. But I love that. Like, I love that. And I love seeing who people choose in Stardew Valley too, because like all the characters are so good and they all have like such different personalities, and it makes me so happy. And I just really like Stardew Valley because of that. Like I just there was a time in my life where I played that like every second of every day, like every second of every day, because I just loved it because it was so much fun. Like I had my farm going, I had all the nice sprinklers, I had the greenhouse going, I was making star fruit, and I had Abigail and I was mining, and it was lovely. And then at some point, my brain went, nope, you need more action than that. And I started playing like Dead by Daylight and things like that. And I'm like, one of these days I'll get back to being a Stardew gay. Like one of these days I'll get back to being a Stardew gay, but I don't know when. And Dragon Age is so gay. I love it. I love that because I know that you really like that game too, and I love it. And it was Dragon Age 2. I love it. I know everyone being bi bothered some for different reasons, but I won't lie, that really normalized it for me, right? Right? And I think it's ridiculous that people get angry that like there's representation in games because it's just like why? Like it's representation. Like we're not gonna sit there and be like, oh, you can't marry this character. Like no, let us have the option to do whatever we want. Cause then what you can do is like you can make a headcanon that like I married Abigail, so we're gay. We're queer in some way, but you know what? Maybe Shane is maybe Shane is straight, and then maybe who else is a character in there? My brain just stopped. Maybe Pam is a lesbian. Like you can make little headcanons. Like you don't have to sit there and it just makes me so mad. But like the option of being able to marry everyone really matters because it normalizes it, especially because like everyone just thinks of heterosexuality as the baseline, like as like the normal thing, right? As like everyone assumes you're heterosexual unless you specifically come out to them. And I feel like I've definitely kind of gone in the opposite direction because I'm just like, all my friends are queer. Like all of my friends are queer, And maybe that's just because my online space, definitely because of the online space that we've curated, everyone, like most of the folks that I know are queer in some way. But I'm just like, I always forget that people don't realize that you can't just assume because because I feel like some people just don't realize. And then I go back to IRL with company folks and I'm just like, they probably like think that I'm just like, heterosexual people exist, damn. Or excuse me, dang. PG-13. Just like heterosexual people actually exist. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because like it's just everyone just assumes that it's so stressful, and I'm just like, why can't we just assume the opposite? Like everyone's queer, unless like why do we have to come out? Why do we have to be the ones that come out? Excuse me. I would I would rather not. Thank you very much, but thank you for the offer. Thank you for the offer. And so seeing like the representation in games is just so wildly important, right? Dragon Age was the first place I felt comfortable being gay without worrying about being judged or bullied. Yeah, and that is the thing with a lot of online games, with a lot of online solo games, excuse me. In a lot of games, like especially with The Sims, with Stardew Valley, with Dragon Age, with any game where you can explore that, you are safe because this is the game that only you are in, right? And that's why it's so important because like you can feel safe and comfortable in that because no one's going to log onto your computer and be like, all right, who did they romance in Dragon Age? Like, what do their Sims look like? Like no one's going to do that unless you've got some weird helicoptery, like rude parent. But like, you are safe in the game. And that is really what helps because it is your perception of the game. It's you playing this game. It's your safe space. Oh, it's your safe space. Oh my God. It's a shame you had to experience that in D&D. Made the DM step on a sea of endless Legos while barefoot. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ooh. Oh my God. Yeah, some people are just rude, just looking for reasons. And yeah, I'm glad that we all left. Yeah, we all left on the same day because we were just like, this is too much. Like this is a lot, and I didn't have the spoons in me to create a fifth character. Like my character was dying once a month. Like I literally had to create a character every other month because I just kept dying in game, and I was like, just well, that's fine. Right, queer and confused. Just honestly, that is what I've been for the last like year. We're just queer and confused, and you know what? I'm happy with that. Like I'm happy in that identity. We're doing the best that we can. Oh my God, right? I like the goth emos. Yes, I love that. Still have not played as Stardew Valley past day 2 though. I just had people send me fanfic and watch my friends play. I love that because I'm sure there's a lot of fanfic about that. That makes me so happy for one. That's so good. But yeah, like the thing is like, I think that's why I want to see more games with that representation because not everyone likes farming sims. Like not everyone likes Stardew Valley, like farming sims. Like not everyone likes that. And that's okay, which is why I want to see it like spread across the board. I want to see it spread across the board, which is why I really like the fact that Apex has queer identity in there. Like there's someone who's canonically non-binary. They actually have a canonically autistic person in Apex as well, which is a shooting game. Like it's literally an FPS game, and they have like lesbians in there. They have a whole bunch of identities in there, and it makes me so happy because it's just like it matters. And like the game devs of that game know that it matter and canonically put it in there to like hardcore just say, yes, they are queer. You cannot headcanon them in any other way because we're putting this identity in there because we know that representation matters. And it makes me so happy. And like, it is one of my favorite games because of that. Because I think a lot of people also in like any kind of like first person shooting game, like also just like think to themselves, oh, they're just playing a shooting game. Like whatever, like why does it matter? Like why? Like why should it matter? And it's just like, no, it really does. Like it really does. Cause it shows that the devs like actually want to support us and show that there is that representation in the game because it matters. And it's so nice. It's so nice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Clint is straight. Everyone else is queer. Yeah. I love that everyone's kind of come to that realization because, yeah, Clint. I dated a Clint and it was a time. It was a time. Oh, I didn't realize literally everyone wasn't everyone in Dragon Age is bi. Now I have to play this game, obviously. Yeah, like it's not for everyone again, but it's a really good game too. Like I highly suggest it. It's a really good one. Oh, and yeah, everyone is either queer, unaware that they're actually queer, or they're just homophobic. Exactly, right? Like that's my mindset at this point. It's probably not the best mindset, but I'm just like, you know what? Everyone's queer. Everyone is queer. And it makes me so happy because I needed this as a child. Like I needed this representation, you know? And yeah, Apex is so good with it. Yes, yeah. I'm so glad the Apex devs spoke out against EA about standing up for trans queer folks. Oh my gosh, same. Like literally like what, the week after or something? The week after that they freaking that they pushed the EA pushed the Sims stuff, they were just like, no, we're not gonna stand up for trans folks. And I was like, I was so mad. And I'm so glad that the Apex devs like spoke up against it because I was like, this is how you be a good ally. Like this is how you be a good ally because I'm just like, how are you going to sit there and literally put like pronouns into your Sims game, like good pronouns, like literally the Sims probably has the best pronouns options that I've seen. There might be others, but like it's got the best customizable pronouns because you can also with the layout that they've got, if you use multiple sets of pronouns, you can add those in. Like there's like a way to add those in, right? And so that way, like if you like that way you don't just get like they, them, or she, her, or he, him if you use a whole bunch of those pronouns, right? And so like The Sims has probably the best set of custom pronouns that I have seen in a game. There might be others, but that I personally have seen in a game and adapting to multiple pronouns being used. And for them to just go around and just literally the next week be like, oh no, we're not going to stand up for trans folks. It's just like, why? Why? Like, you literally just did this huge thing for the trans community. Like, the Sims pushing out that update was huge. And it's going to be so impactful to so many people's lives. And it feels so gross to me. Like the idea of playing a game that has all these good things that refuses to stand up for us. It's just like, why did you even add it for the for the capitalism, for the money, so you get the money so more people like play your game? Like, it makes me so incredibly angry and it's so frustrating cuz like they're a huge company and them putting their foot down and being like, "Hey, we support the trans community and are going to stand up for them." Would make such a difference. Because like why can't they do that? Why can't they do that? I do want to clarify with Stardew Valley. I do want to play. I just get overwhelmed by all the tasks. Yeah, that's what a mood. What a mood. There's so much you can do. And like with my indecisiveness, I think that's why I've kind of strayed from it. There's so much to do that my brain doesn't know what to do in that game. You know, like I need to like have a list of like, okay, today you're going to farm because that's how my brain works. I need a task. I need a goal. And with games like Stardew Valley, there isn't a goal. It's pretty much a do whatever you want kind of game. So I feel that like getting overwhelmed by everything that you've got going on because you can farm, you can fish, you can romance people, you can talk to people, you can go to the mines. Like there's so much to do. There's so much to do that like I'm just like, what do I do first? And like, what am I doing? You know? Yeah, so good. There should just be more games with queer options. Exactly. Like there just should be more games with queer options because it really makes such a huge difference. Nuri, if you do download Apex, let me know because I would love to play with you because I am obsessed with it and I'm blaming Shiny. Like I'm literally blaming Shiny Pen for that because he got me into it. But it is such a good game. It is so much fun. I've really liked it and I've never been super into shooting games. Like I've never been super into shooting games for some reason. But lately I have been because I think the chaos, like my brain wants that chaos because it's like it grounds me for some reason. Like shooting games have like grounded me because of the chaos that happens and I've needed that in my life lately. And so it's so good. It's so much fun. And you do have it also, Saul? Oh, see, we gotta play sometime too. That'd be really fun. Yeah, and it's so huge, right? The options, adding the pronouns options are so huge. And it just shows like games cannot, like Arceus can do the same, right? Oh, y'all, for y'all who don't know, I have been on, is it day 122, I think. We're on day, I think, over 120 at this point, but we have been petitioning that Pokemon Legend of Arceus, I think that's what it's called, Legends of Arceus, something like that, put more pronouns options in their games because from the get-go, for people who don't play that Pokemon game, it's very much a game where like you have a customizable character that you can make, but depending on the character that you first choose from a choice of 8 characters, 4 that are men and 4 that are women, if you choose a man character, you are labeled with he, him pronouns throughout the entire game, and you only get access to men's clothing. Same thing for the women's side. If you choose like the like one of the 4 choices that are women that they've deemed as women because they've got longer hair, you are deemed as she, her, and only get access to women's clothes throughout the game. And like the thing is, it'd be different if the game never referenced the pronouns. Like if they just made it completely genderless, like literally didn't use pronouns in it, anything like that. But literally the game constantly uses the he, him, or she, her pronouns depending on what you chose. And constantly says like my boy or my girl depending on who you chose, and you can't change it. There's no non-binary option. And so like whenever I play the game, I just have to sit there and spam through all of the text options. Otherwise I get misgendered the entire time, and it's a horrible feeling. And so we're on day 120 something of petitioning for them to add in more options or literally just take out. I even just added the option of like literally just taking out the pronouns in general in there because that would be easier for them to incorporate, like because they don't have to sit there and say my boy the entire time. Like they literally don't have to add that in. Like you don't have to add that in. And so we've been petitioning for over 120 days to try to get them to add gender neutral pronouns or to take out the pronouns at all, because a lot of non-binary folks are just getting misgendered the entire time, and it's very uncomfortable, and I hate it, and I don't know what's going on in the game because I spam through the text, and so I don't know what's happening, and I just go out and catch the Pokemon. Like, I don't even know the story because I just spam through it. It's a lot. And I'm just like, I just want us to have those options because it would mean so much, especially because Pokemon has been around since the 1990s or something. Like, it's been around for a very long time, and it's got a huge fan base, and like Pokemon would make such a difference to see that happen in Pokemon because it's a huge company. It's a huge company, and it is a Japanese it's a Japanese game dev, so I don't know how plausible it is that they're going to change it because it's not great over there for trans folks, and so I don't know if they're ever going to change it, but we're trying. We are trying because I want it. Thank you for the host. Welcome in. Oh God. And same. I only play with my partner, and I just mine and slay monsters, and she does everything else. I love that. See, like I feel like in Stardew Valley, I hyper focus on what to do. So like my thing was I hyper focused on farming. I was like, I'ma be a farming queer, and I just like literally just farm. And the only time I did anything else was the only time I went to the mines was because Abigail liked amethyst, and I literally just went to the mines to get Abigail her heckin' amethyst, and that's literally about it. But the rest of the time I farmed because I wanted to be a farming queer. And I just love that. I just really love it. Yeah, and I played once, but I'm not very good. Listen, you don't have to be good at a game to enjoy it. I think is the thing. You don't have to be good at the game in order to enjoy it. So as long as you're having fun, you know? Right? Being good is overrated. Having fun is where it's at. Exactly, exactly. Right? And they're the worst Pokemon professor even ever for that. Right? It's so stressful. And I hate the gendering language too. When the professor says my girl, I cringe, right? And getting called old girl. Yeah. And I'm just like, you like the thing is like it doesn't make it like it doesn't add anything to the story to have like my girl and old girl shoved in there. Like it literally doesn't add a single thing in there. But they just sprinkled it in for no reason. And I'm just like, why? Like why? Please take it out. And I know that the new trailer just dropped for Scarlet and Violet. I think is what they're called, Scarlet and Violet, the new Pokemon ones. And I know it's also an open worldy kind of game. And so I'm really hopeful that like they just don't have pronouns in there. I'm just really hopeful that it's also the thing where like you just don't ever get gendered in that game because like I just it would be so uncomfortable. It'd be so uncomfortable to just get that game and to be like my girl and my boy all the time and just like it doesn't do anything. It literally, yes, there's nothing. Like it's literally doing nothing at all. At all. It's not helpful in the slightest. And yeah, it's unfortunately that part with the devs in Japan. Yep, yep. But still worth voicing the issue. Exactly, exactly. It's worth speaking up about because then hopefully other game devs will see that like it's an important thing. Because I feel like a lot of game devs don't really think about that kind of stuff unless there are like specifically trans or non-binary folks and gender non-conforming folks on the game dev team. You know, it's like an unfortunate issue of like no one cares unless you're part of the community, you know, or like know someone who's really impacted by it. Also, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. And so it's very stressful, and I'm just like, oh, and it's just like it's so stressful. Yeah, do people even talk like that, right? Because it's creepy. Exactly. I'm like, I don't think anyone ever like even talks about that. Like, I don't say my boy or my girl to anyone. Granted, I'm also not old. Shiny Pen might have to speak on that because he is 50 years old. Um, because he is 50, so he is an older he is older gen. That's slash joking. We have a joke that Shiny's 50 when he really is not. But yeah, I feel like I don't ever hear anyone saying that. So I'm just like, why? Maybe it's different over there. Maybe it's different over there, right? Because we have a very at least I have a very Americanized view of things because I live in America, unfortunately. I live in the US, unfortunately. So maybe it's different over there. But still, I'm just like it's literally nothing. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. It does nothing at all. And like I've never once heard someone say say my boy or my girl, and I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, babe? You don't have to do this. Right? We had to call out Shiny. Listen, he's old. He's old. Hold on, everyone hides, right? He's old. Oh my god. But yeah, I think it's gonna be like I really am hopeful to see more game devs really like thinking about this, especially like if something as large as The Sims can put it in their game. Granted, they've always been the Sims specifically have always had a very large LGBTQIA plus base, so that's probably why. But like if something as large as The Sims can put it in, other people can also put it in. Like Coral Island is gonna have non-binary options. Like you can choose Mix MX as as your honorary. I don't know what the front of the name like. I don't know what Miss, Mister, and Mix are technically called. But the front part of the name you can choose Mix for it. Like so, like games are doing that, but I think a lot of the time it's like older or not older. Excuse me. it's like indie game devs who are doing this kind of stuff because they actually have people who are part of the community who are working on it and like are actively like thinking about this kind of stuff. So I hate it here. I'm sorry, Shiny, right? Shiny looks great for 50 though, right, Angel? Like he looks great for 50 years old. Like we need your skincare routine. Please and thank you. We would very much appreciate it. Oh, but yeah, I'm really hopeful that we see more of this kind of stuff and more representation in these games. Like I'm really hopeful because like it makes such a huge difference. It really makes such a huge difference, especially when the government is rude and horrible to us. And it makes such a huge difference. And God, I really want it. I know that Ellie Joy Panic, another ambassador of the It Gets Better project. I know that she is going to be doing her talks on this channel. I think she's going to be doing her talks on like game devs and things like that. And so I'm really curious because she worked in a lot of game kind of stuff. And so I'm excited to see what her talks are going to be about because I think that she's going to be bringing in like game devs and talking about LGBTQIA plus stuff with game devs. And so I'm really excited to tune into those because as someone who is not a game dev, I have no idea what goes on at that end. Like, I may be a programmer, but like I've got no idea what it's like to be a game dev. And so I'm really excited to see those talks because I'm just like, I feel like I need to like, I feel like I need like in my brain, I need to demystify like what being a game dev is and what they do and how they like figure out what like identities to throw into their games and things like that. And I really want to see it. I really want to see it. I cannot wait to hear about that. And there have been a few sim gurus who've come out as non-binary since the pronouns update. It's so wholesome. I love that. That makes me so happy. And you know what? They're probably the ones who also pushed for these changes. And we're like excited about working on these changes and like trying to convince people why it's important. Because unfortunately, us as marginalized communities, we're the ones who have to put in that effort because otherwise they don't care. And so I love that. That makes me so happy. That makes me so incredibly happy. Yeah, and the irony is if more games had the inclusive options, they would actually broaden their audiences and thus more money. Exactly. Like adding that inclusivity in there benefits everyone. Benefits everyone except for the transphobes and the homophobes. And you know what? Screw them anyway. Like like screw them anyway. So like it's really just a net positive gain, I think. And so I'm really hopeful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it's funny how hesitant these large corporations are to actually make these changes, right? Right? And it's probably because of capitalism and like probably because they're just like, oh, we don't want people to lose out on the game. And it's just, oh, I'm just really hopeful. I'm really hopeful. Which is why I think I really appreciate things like itch.io. And like other indie like ways to get games and like other like marginalized folks who create games on itch.io and things like that is because like they add these because the people who are creating these games are in the LGBTQI plus community and they can add in that kind of representation. And I'm just like, hopefully that just like broadens and that like just starts happening across a whole bunch of games because the thing is like once some huge game devs start doing that and people see that they're doing that and they're like, okay, if these games can do it, then we better also be inclusive because now we have to match. Now we have to match. What accent was that? Match. Because now we have to match the corporate standard is the thing, right? I feel like a lot of companies and a lot of corporations want to just kind of go with what currently is like the standard. And unfortunately, right now, this inclusivity is not the standard. It's like a nice little spicy treat for us when we get it, but it's not the standard. And I feel like if a whole bunch of large game devs just started doing that, I feel like if a whole bunch of game devs, like larger game devs, started adding this kind of stuff in, it would switch the kind of landscape to be like to have that as the baseline, like adding identities in, adding different pronouns, being inclusive in the games, like it would completely switch what the current landscape is, and people would have to match that. Right? We got to normalize it. Exactly. Like, we really need to normalize it because it's such an important thing. God, it's such an important thing because, like, it would have helped me a lot. It would have helped me a lot. whenever I was younger. And Stardew Valley helped me a lot. And like other games obviously have helped so many other people a lot. And it's just, we're crossing our fingers. Is it going to happen in my lifetime? Probably not. I'm a little pessimistic about that. But I'm really hopeful that eventually it will happen. That way the younger generations actually get to experience that kind of stuff. So, yeah, yeah. Oh, God. We are already at time. I was supposed to play Kirby in the Forgotten Land today. Like, we literally. We had on the schedule that I was gonna play Kirby in the Forgotten Land, but this was literally we just were chatting the entire time. Which I love. I should have seen that coming. I should have seen that coming, but now the VOD is gonna say Kirby and people are gonna jump in expecting Kirby. And guess what? No Kirby. No Kirby. But that's fine. I like that. Right? Be inclusive, broaden the horizon, broaden the audience, stop excluding potential players. Yep, /paying customers. Exactly. Hi, Mimic. How are you doing? Also, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Yeah, exactly. And like the same thing can be said for like accessibility in games. Like, oh, not to get on this other rant, but like actually to get on this other rant, excuse me. The same thing can be said for accessibility in games, right? Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hi Quinn, how are you too? Oh my gosh, Quinn is lovely and another Quinn is amazing and another fantastic ambassador. How are you doing? But like the same thing can be said, sorry. The same thing can be said for accessibility in games. Like, it makes me so mad when games do not include accessibility. I'm just like, why are you doing this? Because if you included, like, accessible options in your games, guess what? More people would play it. More people would play it. Like, oh! And I just, like, even, like, small things like toggling options to, like, remove shaking screens and removing, like, bright lights, because, like, I cannot tell you how many times I have gone into a game, not seeing any accessible options and, like, not seeing any trigger warnings or things like that, and, like, the game, like, has, like, these bright flashing lights, or the game has, like, a whole bunch of shaking screens and things like that, which are, like, very high risk for, like, epilepsy and things like that. And I'm just like, if that could have like really messed me up, like, because I have like a little bit of sensitivity to that, but not like as bad to where like I have seizures or anything. But like I've definitely have like a little bit of sensitivity to that, to where like if I have the option, I will always turn off like shaking screens and like flashing lights and things like that, because they just mess me up. And I'm just like, it's so easy to add in the option to turn that off, because that really could cause a lot of harm and does cause a lot of harm. And I'm like, why don't you add accessibility in your games? Because that would be so helpful, and more people are going to play your heckin' game if you add those options in. Oh, it's so stressful. It's so stressful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've been like, this entire stream has just been ranting and I've loved it. Right, I forgot about the Kirby. We are Kirby. Listen, I'm a pink blob without a gender. That's the baseline. We are a genderless pink blob, and that is where we're at. No more trash panda. No more trash panda. We are Kirby. We are Corby. How's your day going? Oh my God, right? Disability is intersectional, right? Accessibility is for everyone, right? And it is so important. Oh my gosh, it's so important. And something that I've really enjoyed is that I've seen like quite a few folks like have like not talk shows, like make content whenever a new game comes out, talking about the accessibility and like rating it on how actually accessible it is. And it makes me so happy, because I'm just like, all right, let me watch this and see if I can actually play the game, because I'm not going to pay for a game that I can't play, and that's going to mess me up, And oh my gosh, it's just so stressful that people don't think about these things. And whenever we ask them to, they argue about it. I'm just like, friend, do you not want more sales? Do you not like, are you good in this capitalism? Are you good in this capitalism? Do you not want more money? Like, please. Yeah, flashing lights really bother me, right? Yeah, like it absolutely destroys me, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I don't know why, but like there are definitely some days where like I get the most intense headaches when I see flashing lights, and I'm just like, I gotta go sit down for the next like 3 hours and like just like close my eyes, because otherwise like my brain is gonna just explode. Yeah, and devs love the feature. Like so many games, I'm like, my eyes, right? And the thing is like, a lot of devs like don't think about that either. Like whenever whenever I play a game on my stream, I do a deep dive looking into like all the trigger warnings, and if I can't find trigger warnings, I like actually like email. I'm that excessive person to where I actually like will reach out and email the game dev and be like, hey, do you have a list of warnings? Like, for example, are there like flashing lights? Are there spiders? Are there bugs? Or like, is there any like triggering content? Like things like that, because like I need those trigger warnings. Like I need those warnings for my safety because of things. And like it's always super stressful to realize how many game devs actually don't have that. Like they just don't even think about that. Like whenever I was doing the big adventuring event back in February, I think it was February, like every time a game dev would reach out to me about like, hey, like you might be interested in this game, because the way that the big adventuring event worked was that you signed up, you like listed a whole bunch of game like action adventure, RPG, puzzle, like a whole bunch of game types that you were interested in, and the game devs would specifically like email you and be like, hey, the game Aquamarine, we think you might like. Here's a little like rundown of it. Let me know if you'd be interested so we can give you the demo key, things like that. And every single time I got one of those, I'd email them back and be like, hey, what's your list of trigger warnings? Especially because for demos specifically, because the game hasn't been released, there aren't, like, it isn't on Does the Dog Die for video games, which is a wonderful site that lists out a whole bunch of trigger warnings for games, movies, TV shows. Highly suggest. I use it for literally everything. But for a lot of demos, they don't have that content like readily available because it's a demo, people haven't played it, and there hasn't been like a way to get it in the system yet because it's new. It's a demo. And so like I went like, hey, I'm reaching out to people about that whenever I was gonna like think about playing a demo on stream. And the amount of devs who did not think about that, like the amount of responses that I got that were kind of just like, oh, good question. Let me reach out to the folks. Let me reach out to some folks and I'll get back to you. Because they just had no idea, or them being like, oh, no, I don't think there are any warnings, because like triggers are different for everyone. Like everyone's triggers are different, everyone's content warnings are different, and like a couple of times they were like, oh no, there's like not any warnings or anything like that, and then I'd play the game and there'd be like spiders or something, and I've got huge arachnophobia, like I cannot, and it was just like little things like that where I was just like, you really need someone in there, like in your like company specifically dedicated to accessibility, like to think about these things, like and think about warnings to put in, because like it's needed. And like one game that did it really really well was Beacon Pines, and I will just say I will be so happy, I will happily talk about Beacon Pines at any day, because Beacon Pines literally had like this lovely little content document that like listed out all that kind of stuff. Like they thought ahead about what content warnings people would need and things like that. And like whenever they reached out to people, like they included that. And it was definitely one of my favorite things, especially because like someone had flagged about ableist language. Like someone flagged about ableist language in their game because they used like crazy or something. And someone was like, hey, like you might want to change this, and like they actually physically listened and like changed every single instance of ableist language in their game for that reason. And I was just like, this is a game dev that's doing it right. Like, oh my god, I was like, that was so nice. And like they like actually actively think about this kind of stuff, and we need more of that. We need more of that because it's such a huge thing and it's so helpful to so many people. Oh my gosh, right? And the problem is they don't make it easy in themselves because they don't think about these things at the start, which makes it harder for them to implement changes later. Exactly. And that's why you got to have all of this at the beginning. You have to have people dedicated to this kind of stuff at the very beginning, because otherwise it's going to be a huge change to make these things when it could have just been thought through and implemented from the beginning. And I'm just like, it takes you so much less time, so much less money, so much less effort if you just have a person dedicated to this who like is very good and dedicated and very knowledgeable about this kind of stuff with you from the beginning to conceptualize these things and to make sure that these changes are already in place. Oh, because it shouldn't be on us to reach out. It shouldn't be on us in these communities to reach out and be like, hey, like, guess what? You might want to change this. Might want to include this. You might want to be more inclusive. Because, like, it should be a baseline. It should be a baseline at this point, and it's so sad that it isn't. Yeah, and content warnings. Yeah, trying to keep people safe at her. Yeah, like the content warning things is like my biggest thing about, especially, sorry, I know we're over time. I promise we'll end soon. Um, but like trigger warning things for me is like one of the most important things on a stream. Like one of the most important things on a stream. Because for me, like for my warnings, like if I see a warning come up in game, if I see one of my triggers come up in game, like it messes me up. Like I've got quite a few to where it just like messes me up and puts me in a very bad headspace for the rest of the day. And so from the get-go, I've always kind of just been like, all right, for every single game that I play on my stream, like especially for playing a game on stream, I think that it's my job as the streamer to have these warnings for you. Like, I think it's very much my job to have these warnings to make sure that you're safe, especially if you're a variety streamer, especially if you're a streamer who doesn't tend to play games with heavy tropes and with heavy content and with and like especially if you're like more of a cozy gamer who only plays like games that don't have warnings. Like it's so important for me that I have these warnings because I want to make sure not to not to absolutely like mess with someone's like mental health, because there was a handful of times where like I went into like a regular stream, a regular person stream who I used to like just hang out and vibe with all the time. Like I'd pop a lurk and like have them on like a couple percent so I could still hear them because they played a whole bunch of cozy games and like never had any really triggering content on the games because they played things like Stardew Valley or like Cozy Grove and things like that, things that don't have like heavy things in them. And like there was one day that they were playing a game that was like completely like I'd never heard of it, and I was like, all right, like they usually play cozy games, it's probably fine. It had like so much dark stuff in it, and I had to like turn it off and sleep the rest of the day. Like it messed me up. And like and one time someone like had said something to them being like, hey, like you usually play cozy games, like can you please like give us some warnings or something, like have a command, something like that. And they got so angry at someone asking for that, and they were like, well, it's not my job, like you should be looking this up before you come into my stream. And we were just like, all right, and I'm never going back here again. Like I'm never coming back to this space again, because guess what, I'm not safe here. Like, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. Like, it's such an uncomfortable, like, position to be put in. And, like, especially if it messes with your mental health like that, like, it just destroyed me at least. And I was like, all right, from now on, I'm not going into anyone's stream unless I know what the game is about. Like, I need to know what the game is about, because that is never happening again for me in my brain space. Like, please and thank you. It was so bad, and it was so stressful. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. And most indie devs will take time to answer if they really care in that case. Yep, some don't look into it. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that I've really, really liked about indie devs is a lot of them seem to like really care about what they do. They really care about their community. It's like it's their love project, right? Like it's like something that's so deep that they have like put so much effort into, that they have so much pride into, and they're like super excited to have people play their games, and like they actually like will think about these kind of things and be like, all right, like let me get you a full list of all the warnings to make sure that you are safe and comfortable and your community is safe and comfortable. And so it's just, oh, it's so nice when they do think about these kind of things, and especially because a lot of them are very good at like answering really quickly. I found that a lot of indie devs are very, very good about that. And it's really, really nice. It's so sweet. Yeah, listen, I'm terrified of spiders. I used to play Rogue Company a lot with my friends. Rogue Company was a game that I really, really enjoyed. It's another third person shooter, excuse me. It's a third person shooter. And like, it was so good up until the point they decided to add in a robotic spider, like a very realistic looking robotic spider, and I have not really picked up the game since, because every time I see it, and like the thing is, the spider like lunges at you. Like they literally can control the spider and it will lunge at you. And I can't play the game anymore. Ever since they added it, because I get so incredibly terrified to where like I literally just like can't sleep. I have like huge anxiety, and like it just messes me completely up. Like it just completely messed me up to the point where I was just like, all right, never gonna play this game again because I am gonna cry. And it's just so stressful. It's just so stressful. Yeah, I'm terrified of spiders, especially when they're huge. Yeah, I was supposed to play a game called Darkest Tale. I think it was called something. It was like something called like the Darkest Tale. And I started looking into it, and like they had just like huge spiders, very realistic spiders everywhere. And I was like, all right, not gonna play this demo. Like, glad that I saw on a video that they had it, because whenever I asked about the trigger warnings, they said no, like there aren't any trigger warnings. And then I saw these giant spiders, these giant realistic spiders, and I was like, you are wrong. Thank you very much. Get a new person to tell people about trigger warnings, because, like, no, absolutely not. It's terrifying. And, like, Markiplier won't play Little Nightmares 2 because he has fear of mannequins. Mannequins are so stressful, too, right? Oh my gosh, I think that's very valid, right? Yeah, indie games do such a good job. Beacon Pines, in particular, does such a phenomenal job, and it makes me so happy. And I think that they actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure they also have representation, LGBTQIA plus representation in the game, because I think that one of the characters has two moms. I'm like 90% sure I remember seeing that somewhere. So they're actually thinking about representation in that game too, which makes me so incredibly happy, because it is a beautiful game and I love it. I love it. Yeah, Little Nightmares is unsettling and it makes me very stressed. And I'm just like, I could never play it. I could never play it, right? Accessibility should always be part of your design, period. Yep, and it goes for more than just game devs. Exactly. It should be in literally everything, in websites, like it should be everywhere, in websites, in jobs, like in accessibility in getting to jobs. And it's just like interviews should also be like, all shows should think about accessibility. I don't know, just like literally everything, because it just kind of sucks that it's not. It just kind of sucks that it's not. And it's so stressful. And it's so stressful, right? Aesthetics should not come before accessibility. If your design doesn't include accessibility, then it's not a good design. Exactly. Exactly. Hi, how are you, Lilith? Yeah, I'm definitely over time, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how over time I'm allowed to be, because I was supposed to end half an hour ago. But we're having a good conversation, so I'm gonna keep going until Sulky yells at me. Thank you! It's a non-binary rat design. Also, I hope that your haircut went well, and I'm very excited to see it. I hope that you really like it. Like, I hope that it gives you the euphoria that you want, you know? I'm so happy for you, and I cannot wait. Yeah, agreed. I got invited to play an indie dev game once, and just heard it was cute and chill and stuff, and I was encouraged to avoid spoilers, all for the sake of the story, but then I heard it took place in a hospital, and I was like, sorry, I cannot go into this unknowingly. Yup. Any kind of game that like starts in like an asylum or some sort of like mental hospital, or in a hospital of any kind, like I'm just like, I need to look things up first, because the thing is, like, again, with any kind of warnings, it's hard to encompass every single trigger warning, because there are so many, and like not everyone has every single like trigger warning. Like not everyone has every single trigger, right? And so I feel like unless you have a specific trigger, you don't know whether something in a game is a trigger or not, you know? Like I've got my very big baseline based on what I know and based on what my triggers are. Then I'm trying to do a better job at like thinking across the board, right? And like that's very difficult to do because of how many things there are. And sometimes you're not going to get everything, but like at least having like a base idea of the game is a huge thing. So like for me, like I have definitely also been kind of the same, where I'm just like, anytime I'm about to play a new game, I need to spoil it for myself. Like I need to physically go in, find out all the warnings, find out any spoilers, like look up what people on Reddit are saying to see if they have had any experiences with it, and like maybe they've seen like things in the game that other people wouldn't think of as warnings and things like that, because like you never know, and I cannot go into a game unknowingly. Like I cannot, for that reason. And like a lot of games have just like very subtle things that they don't think of, and I'm just like, oh nope, never mind, can't do this for me. And like I felt so bad when I went into Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker. Oh, and then something potentially very triggering happened. Like I linked a phone line and apologized profusely, still feel bad about that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, and it's always a very stressful thing too, if you as a streamer, like, and you as the gamer want to have a no spoiler run through, right? Like you want to have a no spoiler run through, and you haven't heard anything about the game, and you haven't heard anything about like triggering things happening. And so just having something offhand like that is also super, super helpful to like have resources, especially if something comes up after the fact that you do not foresee coming, you know? And so just having those kind of resources are also super helpful. And Moonglow Bay is one. I highly recommend Coat Sync. Oh, okay. Ellie might have more knowledge on that though. All right, I'm gonna have to look into those. Thank you. Yeah, nothing like not making people feel safe. I mean, they should have trigger warnings and not have people look stuff up. Yeah, like that is very big. Like that is something that I am like very, very, very devoted to. Probably because that experience to where like I got like majorly triggered in this like horrible dark game from a person that I really trusted. But like yeah, it's definitely a thing where like it's just like I need to have the warnings 24/7 for any game that I play, especially on stream now, because like I'm in the mindset of me as the streamer. I am the person who is like making sure that we're in a safe environment. For every single person who may come in, whether they come in for a couple minutes, they pop a lurk, they're here chatting, like it is my job as the streamer to make sure y'all are safe and comfortable here. Like, it's my job, you know? Thank you for the hydration, hold on. Like, it's my job. And if I'm playing something super triggering, I need to be very upfront about that because the last thing I want is for folks to just like spiral into a really bad mental place when I could have prevented that in the first place. You know, when I could have prevented it in the first place. Ding, 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 ding. This coffee is like cold. I still have about half a cup left. And I made it 4 hours ago, actually, 4 hours ago. And it's cold. I got some iced coffee up in here at this point. Yeah. But I'm just very big on that now too. Woo! Like being a little spoiler, but does the dog die is totally fine to protect your community. Exactly. Exactly. Especially when does the dog die is like they have done such a great job on that site. People are so wonderful about putting content on there. And the fact that anyone can contribute to it also makes it a lot nicer because everyone can put their own perspectives of what is triggering for them because that could be triggering for other people. And so I think that they do just a fantastic job. And like I use it for everything. Before I jump into any games, before I start any movies, any TV shows, I'm on top of it. I'm just like, I need to see this. I need to look at all these because I need to make sure that I am safe in this game. Yeah. So I looked it up and there were lots of triggering content things. So for sure I made a time and command. Yep. And I even struggle with the heckin' cute spiders in Animal Crossing. Listen, the tarantulas in Animal Crossing mess me up. Like, oh my God. I used to play Animal Crossing so much. And every time I would like get Tarantula Island, every time I'd like use my ticket to go like different islands, every time I got Tarantula Island, I immediately would just be like, nope, and like would turn right back around and leave the island because I was like, absolutely not. The idea of spiders jumping at me, no, I'm not doing that. No, like, excuse me, absolutely not. Like, no. It's terrifying. Yeah, I'm the same. That's why I don't watch scary movies. I am the same because I feel like a lot of scary movies like are very big into like gore and stuff too and have a lot of triggering content because like I feel like a lot of scary movies kind of look at people's triggers and are like, okay, this is scary. Like, this is scary. And I'm just like, no, you can make a scary movie without having triggering content for folks. Like, that is not, no. Like, I know that you want to instill the fear in people, but like, do it in a way that's not horrible. Like, do it in a way that you're not going to horribly trigger people. Please and thank you. Like, yeah, and that's why I definitely don't watch any like horror type movies. I don't watch any like scary movies or TV shows or anything like that because I'm just like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna watch Ouran High School Host Club for the 17th time. I'm gonna watch Yuri on Ice for the 7th time. I'm gonna watch Jujutsu Kaisen for the 5th time. Like, I'm just gonna watch my sweet little anime magical girl shows. Let me put on Mew Mew Power. Let me put on the Winx Club. Like, like let me put on all this so I don't have to like worry about this kind of stuff because I am terrifying. I am terrified. Oh my gosh. Yeah, scary movies stick with me and I'll think about it all night long. Yeah. I watched Annabelle at a very young age, the creepy doll movie. Dolls mess me up now. Dolls mess me up now. I watched Paranormal Activity at a very young age because my sister loves horror movies, and I always used to watch them with her because she likes them, and she forced me to watch them with her. I watched Paranormal Activity. I couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep without a light on with a person next to me for 3 months because I was afraid that the paranormal demons were gonna come and kill me. Like, it was so funny. And I just sit there back and think now, and I'm just like, I should not have watched any of these. Like, let me watch my cute movies. Like, let me just watch my cute little romance movies. Let me stop there. Absolutely not. And streamers, yeah, and streamers should also think about accessibility in their streams, overlays, file flyers, things like that. Exactly, yeah. Like, I definitely, like, from the get-go, I'm just like, which is why I really love Pixel Chat. Which is what I use for all my captions. Pixel Chat is my favorite heckin' thing because you can add people who, if like, especially if you do a lot of collab streams and things like that and panels. Pixel Chat is fantastic because you can caption a whole bunch of people, like a whole bunch of people at once, and like it makes it makes life so much easier because like I want to make sure that people like can actually hang out here comfortably and safely, you know? Like I want to make sure that no matter what disability you've got, like you can hang out here and be happy and like still participate is the thing. Which is also why like for any of the Snap camera filters that I use, I always make sure that you can still clearly see my mouth. Like, which is why I really like the Buff Tato filter because like you still have the realistic lips. And so for everything, I always want to try to make sure that we have the accessibility here because like the least thing I want, like the thing I don't want is for people to pop in, be like, okay, I can't participate in the conversation because I don't know what's going on because it's not accessible, and then leave because that is the worst. Because like the thing is like, we already do not have accessibility in our society. And so, like, if we can make it work in online spaces, we're gonna make it happen. Like, we're gonna make it happen. Like, oh my gosh, yeah. It's just so stressful. It's so stressful. It makes me so sad when people don't think about that kind of thing. Yeah. And it's another horror game, but I won't suggest to people that have a fear of spiders and demons grabbing you for little nightmares. For little nightmare or devour. Oh, yeah, Devour. Absolutely not. Absolutely not Devour. No. It looks so stressful, and I think I played it once. Never again. Never again. Like, I can do Phasmophobia. But like other horror games, I can't really play because I'm too stressed. And for real, I'm constantly trying to subtly and not so subtly remind and encourage streamers to include accessibility. Yeah, like I remember, like, and the thing is, it's a little nuanced too because, especially with captions, that is a little more difficult because a lot of the captioning programs that we have are highly just for Americanized voices, which is so unfortunate. Like folks who have like deep, thick, heavy accents cannot use a lot of the captioning programs that we can use, which it makes me so sad. Because I know a lot of like Scottish streamers who like literally just can't use captions because the captioning program doesn't caption them. Like it just literally gets everything wrong, and so it's harder and it's worse to see all the misinformation in the captions. And so I'm just like if you can, if you're able to use it, then I want to make sure that we use it, but I want to make sure that it's not it doesn't harm more than it does good, which unfortunately is the situation for a lot of folks who have thick accents, and it's so sad. And I really hope that one day a captioning program comes out that like can actually take in different accents because like it's so unfortunate. Like it's so unfortunate because like I know a lot of people who really want to add in captions, but just can't because like the captioning programs literally can't understand them. And it's not their fault, it's the caption's fault. And I just really want someday for there to be a better captioning program. Because we need it, because we need it, and people deserve it, you know. And I agree. I'm under the belief if you can't take responsibility for making the effort to protect your viewers' community, then you shouldn't be streaming. Yeah, and I feel like that's a very spicy take to have. Because, like, again, like when I brought it up to that person who played this really horrible dark game, they got very angry at me, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. And it's just like. I just like, especially as the streamer, like, especially if you're just like coming into a raid or something, like especially if folks are like popping in from a raid who don't know you and like suddenly a whole bunch of like triggering stuff happens in this game, I'm just like, I'm gonna feel so bad for all these viewers who like don't know me, who like are coming in here probably like, especially if the other streamer that they're coming in from are playing like a really cozy, like non-triggering kind of game, like things like that. I'm just like, I need to make sure that they know if they're safe here. Like whenever someone raids in, I'm always just like, all right, we're playing this game. Like for Kirby, I have like literally a copy paste command that I was gonna like copy and paste in here, because Kirby, even though there's not a lot, there's still some like flashing lights every once in a while. There's like combat in it, which makes some people uncomfortable. There's like animals in there that we have to fight against, and like I literally have a copy paste command that I was gonna put in for like content warnings if we ever even got into the game, which we didn't. Which we didn't, but I had it ready offhand, you know, just in case we were gonna pop into it, because like it's really important to me, especially for anyone who doesn't know me, especially because this is my first stream on this channel, like especially for folks who don't know me, like I need to make sure that people are safe here. I need to make sure people are safe here, you know. Yeah, the little baby, yeah, New Leaf, I used to fear walking around at that, yeah, with the spiders, honestly. And they hid in the flowers, and I get bit, yup, and like they just hide in the grass and stuff, and I'm just like, you little booty heads, like, you're doing this on purpose, get me away from here, like, please and thank you, you need to stop it, because I'm going to cry. Oh my God. And I saw a scary movie, then couldn't sleep. Yeah. I was up half the night. Yeah. Like every time my sister would make me watch a creepy horror movie, I was gone for the rest like month and a half. Like I just couldn't do anything alone. Like I had to pee with the door open. Like it was that bad. And it was so funny. It was so fun. In hindsight, it's just like, it is hilarious. Like the first time I played Phasmophobia, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Phasmophobia, for folks who don't know, is a ghost hunting game where you're first person, like put in the shoes of a ghost, of someone who's like trying to figure out the type of ghost there is. And the ghost can kill you, because it's a ghost game. They can kill you, they can talk to you, they can throw things at you, they can manifest in front of you and scream at you and sing at you. It is terrifying, and it's one of my favorite games. It's terrifying though. And the first time I played that, I had to have my cats in the bathroom with me. Like every time I went to go pee or anything, I was like, all right, Tofu, you're coming in with the bath. You're coming in with me to the bathroom, because guess what? I'm scared that a ghost is gonna manifest out of nowhere and destroy me. And destroy me. And it was so funny. It was so incredibly funny, because my cats didn't understand, but like I needed them with me. Like I needed them with me. And so I'm really glad that a lot of us feel this way, because I was like, is it just me? Is it just me? Right? I'm gonna watch me some Hinata, right? And earlier when AC came out, there was a bug that sent the heckin' tarantula launching off a roof towards the camera. Bats. Really? I missed that, and I am so glad, because I would have cried. I would have absolutely cried. Absolutely not. No. Oh my God. Saw Chucky once, never again, fam. I cannot. Like Chucky, I can't watch like the Saw movies, can't do that. Can't do Freddy or like Nightmare on Elm Street, can't do any of that. Oh, not any of that, and it's terrifying. Yeah. Evil Dead messed me up because my sister was constantly watching that. Yeah. Oh my God, that's terrifying. And scary movies really mess with me as a kid. I'd sleep with a wrench under my pillow, like that would protect me. Listen, I had a knife. Umi, just high five. I had a knife. I had a knife underneath my bed, because I was like, this is gonna protect me. Like, it's not gonna protect me, but like, it made me feel safe and comfortable, and that's what really matters. Like, that is what really heckin' matters, right? Oh my God, hold on, bats. I also watched Arachnophobia, because it was branded as a funny movie. It was branded as a comedy. I would do a zoom camera, pretend this is zoomed face. It was not a comedy. It was not a comedy, my friend. Oh my gosh, it was terrifying. It was terrifying, and I think that definitely made my arachnophobia even more rooted in. Let's be quite honest. Like that messed me up. Oh my gosh. Hi Skittle, how are you? I hope you're doing well. It was terrifying, and I've got a fear of going into basements because of the Evil Dead. Yup. Oh my God, that's terrifying. And yeah, captions are terrible with my accent, right? But I still have them up since it's better than nothing, since the majority is all right. Yeah, we really need more accessible options for closed captions because, like, I always feel so bad because I'm just like, I know a lot of people who really, like, I know so many people like who would like who are so much like I really want to make sure that I'm accessible, like I want to have captions but I physically just can't because they're just not accessible. Like literally like they mess up every single like every other word because like their accents are just way too heavy. And like don't even get me started on captions for like people who don't speak English. Like it's just like like they're just not good. And we just really need better options. Like we really need better options because it would make such a huge difference. It would just make such a huge difference to so many people. And it's just so sad, especially because I feel like a lot of people don't realize don't realize um like how inaccessible captions are for folks who have heavy accents. And like I feel like a lot of people are just like you should have captions no matter what, otherwise you're a horrible person. And it's just like, and I feel like because they're thinking that like the captions are going to caption everyone, right? And so I always feel so bad because I know quite a few people who feel really bad about that because they want to use captions but literally just can't because they just don't do the job and they just make it worse and misinterpret literally everything that's said. And it's just like I always feel so bad for people because I sometimes see that take and I'm just like, oh, but think about anyone other than very Americanized accents. Like think about other people outside of the US, right? Like think about people outside the US or even in the US who like have heavy accents, like they just literally can't use them. And it's always really sad. It's always really sad. Yeah, Pixel Chat is amazing though. I love it for Americanized accents. Again, for American accent. Right. Yeah, they're terrible with accents and it's horrible. It's horrible. Like even mine sometimes it doesn't get it right and like probably because I speak really quickly and jumble. Like I feel like I mumble a little bit. But like it at least does the job for me because I've got an American accent. Yeah. Right. And they should put an automatic translation on here for people who don't speak English, right? A game I play has it and it makes it easier to see what they're saying. That'd be so nice. Oh, that'd be amazing if they did that. And right, it is spicy, but it's important because I don't think enough streamers understand the nuance and responsibility that comes with community management. Yeah, and I feel that's kind of the same way about like any kind of advocacy and education within communities as well. Like I definitely have very much taken the stance, at least on my channel, where like we're always going to try to keep educated on topics. Like no matter what, like I make sure to have resources on LGBTQIA plus resources. I've got resources on like why you shouldn't use the word bean when referring to people. Like I've got the ableist resources. I've got why you shouldn't use spook for people. Like every single thing. Like especially as a streamer, like I feel like as someone who is like kind of like in charge of the community that I'm building and the community that we've got, like it's my job to call things out and educate folks wherever I have the ability to, or at least link resources when I have the ability to, especially as someone who wants to make sure that I keep educated and I keep updated on certain terms and words and things like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, hold on. Here you go. Let me copy paste this in here for you. Hold up. Here's the there's the trigger warning content if you just want to copy paste it, but that's what I've got for Kirby. That's what I've got for Kirby. Yeah, but I had it like ready to go if we ever jumped into game because it's important to me. And so there you go. If you want that, take that. Right, I make my girlfriend come with me. I love that for you, Lils. You're just like, come on, Silky, let's go pee together. Let's go pee together because I'm terrified. Thank you very much. Like, it's so funny. And right, cats act like they can see ghosts, so that's a smart decision, honestly. Every once in a while, my cat, Tofu, Leonard's pretty okay with it because he knows that he doesn't want to mess with me because I give him food and he loves me. Tofu, on the other hand, every once in a while, like they sleep with me. They sleep with me on my bed. That's Tofu's blankie. Like this blue thing, that's Tofu's blankie. He loves to sleep specifically on that because it's got a nice little divot every once in a while because he like lays on it all the time. Every once in a while at like 2 a.m., because I'm still awake because I've got insomnia, he will just sit straight up and stare into the top corner of my room. at 2 a.m. when I'm sitting there on my TikTok journey scrolling through 70,000 queer TikToks. He will just sit straight up and stare into the corner, and I'm like, sir, sir, now I'm gonna be up for the rest of the night. Now I'm gonna be up for the rest of the night. Thank you very much. Like, now I'm terrified that some demon's just like sitting in the corner staring at me, cause like, ah, like, ah. And it's so funny. And I'm just like, I swear, like, cause I'm definitely on like the train of like, cats know, like cats know, like cats can sense things, because I'm just like, I think they can. And I'm just like, what is happening? I'm terrified. Police know. I'm going to cry. It's fine. It's fine. And it's just, it's so funny. It's so stressful, and it just kills me. It just destroys me inside. It's so funny. And I think it was just a bug in my game because of the way the terrain was built. Okay, whoo. But yeah, I was not expecting my silly little Animal Crossing playtime to feel like a horror game. I was dead. I would have cried, especially if they're jumping off a roof at you. I hope that never happens again for you. I hope that never happens again for you. I had a metal baseball bat. I love that for you, Mimic. I love that all of us are just anxious little humans who are like, all right, horror things, I'm going to keep something under my bed so if a ghost comes at me, I can try to attack them, and it's probably just going to go right through them because they're a ghost anyway. But you know what? I feel safe in my decision. It is so stressful. And arachnophobia was indeed terrifying, but I did not choose to watch it. However, I have deep issues around my father thinking it was hilarious for me to watch it because I was scared. I'm so sorry, Bats. That is pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much my sister. It was such a stressful movie. Highly do not suggest it for anyone. For anyone who is terrified of spiders or who just doesn't like spiders. Because even though it's like branded as a comedy movie, it is not. It is terrifying. Oh my gosh. As an immigrant at 17 years old from the Philippines, captions helped me a lot when I moved to America, even to this day. Good, I'm so glad. And like, that's the thing. Like, captions are so helpful for so many different reasons. Like, for some reason, like my brain, I cannot pay attention if there's not captions on anything that I'm watching, anything like any movies, streamers, TV shows. Like, my brain just cannot pay attention. Like, I feel like I don't understand what people are saying unless I can physically see the words in front of me. And so captions really help me for that reason, because like it focuses me, and like I feel like I can conceptualize what they're saying a little more. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is, but like it's really helpful for me also to have captions. And so it's just really great. Right, having accessibility features helps more than just the disabled community access content. Exactly, it's phenomenal, and we just need better like captioning resources for folks who don't have a very American accent, because it would just be a huge help. It would just be a huge help because there are so many people who want to use the captions who just literally just can't because they just don't caption or like correctly caption what they're saying, you know? Yeah, cats do the darndest things. They're terrifying, right? They're terrifying. And also, thank you for the little warm hellos. I appreciate y'all. And whenever my cat starts staring into a corner, I just snap at them and yell, stop that, because I can't deal. Yeah, I'm just like, you need to go back to sleep. Let me give you a treat so you're distracted, and so I am not thinking about the creepy demon in the corner that I can't see with my human eyes. And I can hear well for the most part, but definitely need captions to help with focus and comprehension. Yeah, that is exactly me too. Like, I need it for the focus and comprehension. And I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know. I also have aphantasia to where like I can't like visualize things. So maybe that's also it, but like I also just really need them, and they're very helpful for me. And so they're just so helpful just across the board for a lot of folks. And so it's just I really do enjoy and I appreciate when folks like think about those kind of things and add captions if they're able to add captions. And who are able to like add alt text to things too. Like, that's also ridiculously helpful. And so it's really great. Yeah. All right. I'm like an hour over my time and I feel a little bad. So let me find someone to rate into, because we are an hour over time, and and no matter how much I've really enjoyed this, I know that we probably have to rate out to someone. And so I just want to say thank you. Like, this has been so much fun. I was like incredibly nervous. For this, because like I don't know. I just get nervous. I have anxiety, and I just get a little nervous about this kind of stuff. And so I just cannot even tell you how much I appreciate all of you. Like, this was so much fun, to the point where we didn't even play the game. Like, which I really love, because like I chose Kirby as the game we were gonna play. That way, like I would have something my brain could focus on, in case my brain couldn't think of words to say. Because sometimes that happens, and I need to have like something to distract me, to ground me. And so it says a lot that like that I didn't even have to pull up the game. And so I cannot tell you how much I really appreciate y'all. This has been so much fun. And I just really had a great time. So, like, this conversation was absolutely phenomenal. And I just really appreciate y'all so much. No, thank y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. Thank you for lurking, chatting, participating, for the raids too, like everything. Like, I just cannot tell you how much I appreciate you all. I had a lot of fun. These conversations are things that I really enjoy. And I'm trying to do more often, like, because I don't know, I just think it's really fun and I really appreciate them. And I don't know, like, these are the kind of conversations that I kind of really needed as a child as well. Like, I feel like this kind of stuff, like this channel, this channel in general would have really helped me when I was a younger person, in figuring out my identity and things like that. And so to be a part of this channel and the ambassador community is just really fantastic, and I just really appreciate y'all so much. So thank you for hanging out today. But yeah, let me go find someone to rate. Momo! Momo Misfortune is another lovely ambassador, and it's their birthday stream. It is their birthday stream right now, and I'm really excited because they're fantastic, and really one of my favorite heckin' humans. Like, they give me so much gender envy, and they are one of my favorite people. And they're just really cool. Gosh, they're just really cool. And they actually have a PG-13 community too, so this is gonna be perfect to raid into them for their birthday heckin' stream. And so I just really appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for chatting. Thank you. Yeah, these are the conversations I still need as a queer that came out later in life. Exactly, right? It is so important to have these conversations, and like, I love that there's a space for it. You know, I think that's the thing. Like, um, I really love that there's a space for it, and especially like with this channel and just It Gets Better in general. Like, I love how many like amazing folks there are. Like, the ambassadors are also very like all varied in their identities, their experiences, their intersectionalities. And so it's just been really great to see all the lovely people hanging out, and all the wonderful people like, and their experiences and how they view things, and how they are in their identities. And it's just been really great to see. And so I just appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. Hold up, let me see if there is a do we have a raid out message? Hold on. Let me see, because I cannot remember. I cannot heckin' remember. I don't think we do. Okay, here we go. Hold up. We're gonna make a lovely. Can I start the raid? Has it been created? Yes. Okay, hold on. We're gonna do this. Happy heckin' birthday from It Gets Better Project. Here we go. That is going to be our raid message. Y'all, Momo uses they, them pronouns. So let's please make sure to respect that and get their pronouns right. Momo is fantastic. They're an agender, absolutely freaking phenomenal human and streamer who plays a lot of The Sims, plays a lot of Animal Crossing, and it is their birthday stream today, which I'm so excited about because they deserve the entire world. And so we're going to raid into them. Another amazing ambassador as part of the It Gets Better project. And as a closeout, thank y'all so heckin' much for being here. I'm Tofi. I'm a non-binary Chinese variety streamer, and this was the It Gets Better channel, a wonderful nonprofit that works to educate, support, uplift, and connect LGBTQIA plus youth across the globe. And this was a fantastic conversation. I'll be back live in July for the next stream, talking about chosen names and how games and D&D helped me figure out my name. And just thank you for everything. Have a lovely rest of your time zone, and let's go say happy birthday to Momo. Bye!